You. Hey, you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Are you tired of the same old podcasts with the same old panels and the same old rhetoric? So am I. So come spend time with me, where you can have a laugh, be entertained, and learn something. I'm your host, Nova, and welcome to School of Thought. Class is in session. Welcome to everybody who's joining me here at School of Thought. I'm your host, NovaStar. Sean is here, Sarcastic Saint, and Trigger Man, and Hurricane Paro. My buddies are all joining in. So we want to say a good hello, and I hope you've had a great afternoon and beginning of your week of this new 2026. Are we all excited? Are you all hopeful that this year will be better than last year? Because I am. I'm like ready to not have all the same problems, to get her done and get it out of the way. I need some water. Hold on. Yes, there's a lot of stuff that's going on in the news. We've got stuff with the Medicare system. Medical system, not just Medicare, but also medical system going on. We got stuff with the housing market going on. Crypto has been in the toilet. Let me double check. Let's see if my little other bag is doing any better. Let's see. And then we've got all kinds of stuff going on with Hollywood elites and sex cults. Now, did everybody see my poll? Did you all see my poll? Oh, it went back up. Thank you, Lord. Okay, it's going back up. Do you all think that the industry is mostly just a big old giant sex cult? Well, those are all the little things that they don't want you to know about. Yes, see, Trigger Man agrees with me. Yes, I agree with you. You know, and considering I started seeing some stuff out there, I was a little shocked. And now it's all coming together and making lots and lots of sense. So I've got an interesting mixed bag today. Did you all also know that they are desecrating Barbie once again? I mean, they haven't just taken this poor doll and ran her through the knot holes already and made her look as horrific as everybody else. You know, the whole point of toys, Mattel and everyone who might be listening to me, I used to be a big Barbie fan. Yes, I was. I was a Barbie girl growing up, even though I used to like to get into fights and stuff too. But I still liked Barbie, okay? And the whole point of toys is escapism. It isn't so that way the doll looks just like all the other ugly women walking around. I'm sorry. That's not the point. The point is that she is beautiful. You know, she's beautiful and she's fun and she can do all of these things. Same thing with action figures, right? Boys action figures, they do cool stuff. You know what? I'm gonna open it up with this one because you guys got to see what they are doing to my poor Barbie doll. They literally have going on. They're making her autistic Barbie. Autistic Barbie. Why are we doing such weirdo shit? Like, can someone explain to me why we feel the necessity to do this? And make an autistic part. Oh, it's got to be inclusion. Well, I'm sorry. Like, yeah, we can be inclusive by making other dolls look differently, so they kind of resemble more ethnicities. But autism? Anyways, all right. I'm going to pull the link up and I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about. Hold on. I have to change browsers because it doesn't like the Microsoft browser. So I have to go to the Chrome and reopen everything in the Chrome. All right, here we go. Remove this one. Oopsie. Stop the screen. And then share the other one. Look at this. Look at this. This is the stupidest thing I have ever seen in my entire existence. This is so stupid. Mattel adds an autistic Barbie to doll line devoted to diversity and inclusion. Yes, we've now reached the bottom of the barrel of stupidity. Mattel Inc. is introducing an autistic Barbie on Monday as the newest member of its line. Yeah, yeehaw. Let's all run out and buy it tomorrow. Intended to celebrate diversity, joining a collection that already includes Barbies with Down syndrome, a blind Barbie, a Barbie and a Ken with vitiligo. I had no idea we have went this far. And other models of the toy maker added to make its fashion dolls more inclusive and less fun, which also makes your sales go down, but they don't care about that. Mattel said it developed the autistic doll over more than 18 months in partnership with Autistic Self-Advocacy Network, nonprofit organization that advocates for the rights and better media representation of people with autism. Now, look, I don't got nothing against people with issues, okay? But why are we forcing this weird shit on children? The goal to create a Barbie that reflected some of the ways autistic people may experience and process the world around them, according to Mattel news release. It was a challenge because autism encompasses a broad range of behaviors and difficulties that vary widely in degree, and many of the traits associated with the disorder are not immediately visible, according to the Pervez, who is the Autistic Self-Advocacy Network community engagement manager and worked closely with Mattel on the Barbie prototype. Like many disabilities, autism doesn't look any one way, but we can try and show some of the ways that autism expresses itself. Okay, like I said, I don't have a problem with any of that stuff, but when you start forcing it down kids' throats and you start taking away everything that children like, which is the whole fantasy of things, whether it's beauty or whether it is action or whatever the case may be, that we're just stripping away all the extra innocence, and it's got to look like this, it's got to look like that. No, you're taking away their ability to have a fantasy, to have a fantasy, play out their little fantasies, and be creative. That's really what it's all about. Honestly, let's see what else let's see what everybody's saying. Grid, hello. You are all set. Thank you. Okay. Let's pull up what we were going to start sharing right now. Now, evidently, some things are going on with Miss Jenner. Miss Jenner, what have you been up to? She's been rumored to be like a madam of sorts. And according to this, it might just be true. Let's get started.
Jeffrey Epstein and just like Maxwell.
I now hold the opinion that Kim Kardashian is a prostitute, and I'm not going to edit
this. Yes, she is.
This opinion. Kim Kardashian is a prostitute. Her mother is a pimp.
This federal RICO though on KK and Kris. Ooh, that's federal RICO I'm about to drop. Anybody know Kim and cool with Kim? They need to tell her now. The rain is coming. The feds is coming.
Y'all, we need to talk about this bombshell that just dropped about Kris Jenner and her alleged ties to Epstein. So one of Kanye's former employees at Yeezy leaked that Kanye found some major evidence against Kris, including...
Wow, Kanye seems to be finding evidence against everybody, but he's also batshit crazy. But let's listen.
Including her rumored role as a recruiter for elite predators. Apparently, Kanye was extremely worried about
what's going on
Chicago because
down there, boys. What are we talking about here?
To pimp them out the same way she did with her own daughters. But the rabbit hole goes even deeper. Remember that bizarre party Kris threw last month for her 70th birthday? Well, turns out that was not just a regular party. And a lot of people are now speculating that this was a meeting for all the...
He was gay. He's very bisexual. So, yeah, it means gay now, doesn't it? Get off of Coco's ass. Behave yourselves, or else you'll have me to deal with. Okay? That's how that's going to go.
The Hollywood elites with ties to Epstein. Because why would Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg be there? Since when do they party with the Kardashians?
Kanye West just needs help. He needs to have a whole bunch of priests hold him down and have a devil removing session. That's what he needs.
Kris is definitely up to something, and the timing of her party and the Epstein emails dropping, none of this seems like a coincidence.
Like good American on the outside. I've got Skims on the inside.
Wait, say that again?
I'm drinking 818 like crazy.
All right, let's first talk about what this ex-Yeezy staffer leaked about Kris. So according to a complaint obtained by People, a former employee at Yeezy claimed that he was instructed by Kanye to investigate the Kardashian family and supposed various criminal links you believe they had with criminal enterprises, including alleged ex-trafficking. And get this, Kanye recently doubled down on these allegations and wrote, Kim Kardashian is an ex-trafficker. And watch y'all don't believe me and just say I'm crazy. And this isn't the first time Kanye openly expressed concern that the Kardashians could pull his daughters into something sinister.
The grandmother that signed for the daughter to do the tape has the rights to the names and the likeness of my black children. That's who we're dealing with. And I bet not one celebrity say shit. They ain't gonna say shit. They're gonna be like, oh man, I'm sorry about your cousin.
Remember back in 2020, right before Kim filed for divorce, Kanye called out Kris for pushing Kim to do a Playboy shoot and wrote, I put my life on the line that North.
Now, when I was out there and I knew all the guys that I knew, it had already circulated well before that her tape was coming out for release for sale. Okay. And you can't push a tape and already have it for sale unless there's already a backer. Really, seriously, like a newsflash to all of the normies out there. It wasn't just leaked. It already had promotion. It was already bought and sold and ready for distribution. Like, seriously. So this whole, it was leaked and blah, blah, blah. No, honey, you leaked it yourself because you wanted to get into that reality series. And then if you notice in the same time frame, Paris Hilton had one come out at the same time. Like, this isn't on accident. This was all pre-planned.
His mother would never sell her tape. And then Kanye also went after Kris's boyfriend, Corey Gamble, and said that Kris and Corey are not allowed around his children. It honestly sounds like Kanye discovered something truly terrifying about Kris that made him worry for his daughters.
So for the culture, y'all don't want me, because I feel like the culture didn't stand up for me when I asked y'all to.
What did you ask for the culture to stand up for? No.
These women kidnapped my child in broad daylight.
And now with these new reports claiming that Kris was allegedly the Ghislaine Maxwell of the entertainment industry, it's all starting to click. Now let's talk about that weird party.
Oh, how come we're not talking about Oprah Winfrey on that then, huh? Shall we infer, imply, and drop some other names on that? Maybe we should be looking at good old Oprah.
Kris threw for her birthday. It's not the first time Kris threw a lavish party for her big day. However, something was different this year. Basically, a lot of people noticed that the guest list looked like the who's who of the Epstein circle. She had Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Prince Harry, and Meghan Markle, mingling with Paris Hilton, Beyonce, Oprah, and Tyler Perry. And the party apparently cost $6.5 million.
Let's take a look inside Kris Jenner's 70th billionaire birthday bash, where the police were allegedly called. Jeff Bezos hosted at his $165 million mansion in Beverly Hills. The theme was a play on James Bond's 007. Inside the party, you could find all the billionaires, including Mark Zuckerberg, Oprah Winfrey, Bill Gates, Prince Harry, and Meghan Markle, her daughter and alleged billionaire Kylie Jenner, Kim, Kendall, Khloe, and of course all of Kylie's friends. For the Housewife fans, funny how Lou M. Taylor's here, Vin Diesel, Hailey Bieber, Justin Bieber, who walked out with mysterious white stuff on his pants.
Mysterious white stuff on it. Looked like he dropped a piece of cake or something down there. I highly doubt it's what she's suggesting, but you never know. Okay, so I'm going to have a slight change of plans. My buddy from Grid One Motorsports is going to be joining me and making some commentary on some of this with me. So there is the link in Discord for you. Let me know when you get back here.
Many more. The guests received 2 gifts, Wayfair Ray-Bans and special Kris Jenner Dunkin' Donuts. Bruno Mars played, and this is when the police showed up.
I feel bad for her too. I used to run into her often, actually. She used to show up to all the major drug clubs in Hollywood and Westwood scene. Did you know that, Sean? She was hanging out there all the time with Paris Hilton. And guess who? All the Kardashian bimbos who like to say that they don't drink or do drugs, but yet every single guy they get with is a total junkie, right? Not to mention all those little bloopers that they used to have in some of their photos where you'd see the side dish of the Coke or the pills or whatever the case may be. And then they would put it up there and then appropriately edit it out afterwards.
TMZ and the Daily Mail are alleging the cops came several
Let me
times
fix it.
during.
Here we go. I got Grid coming up here. Can we hear you?
Hey, what's up? I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes, I hear you.
Perfect.
It's nice to have you here. I love your American flag and your patriotism in the back of
thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. One of the shows I do is I just launched a new channel called Gun Prattle. And so this is the background that I use for that. I mean, I redid the studio, so it was more appropriate for that.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're here. You have very interesting stuff and topics that you talk about, like lots of American issues, politics. I do believe I've seen you for relationship stuff too, don't you?
Yeah, I do a little bit of everything. Most what I do is commentary for sure.
Okay, so stuff like this.
Yeah, I don't do reviews a matter of fact, I don't know that I've ever done kind of a review or anything like that where I've watched something and then commented on it, but I comment on the events and more of a satirist, honestly. So, well,
I started off with friends who are in the space who helped me put out series for occult online spaces and occult activity in America today. And then I'm kind of branching off into more of that type of stuff, as well as I'm working on a stream with Coco for men's health, actually, because her and I we love men, not like that though, but we love men and we want men to be happy and healthy, you know what I mean? So I just wanted to clarify it wasn't like something weird, like, ooh, we're a bunch of freaks or something. No, but we want to help men and make sure that they get everything that they need covered. So that we were actually talking about that right before the stream started. So
yeah. Well, I think that there's a really large disconnect between what women think about how they should act around or how they should treat men and how they actually should act around and how they should treat men and what men actually really want out of them. So it's good that you're doing that.
Yeah, and that's definitely a two-way street for sure. But the next stream is about men's health, though. We're not really talking about dynamics of relationships, but
yeah, you're making fun of what's her name, Jenner, right?
Kind of. The ties. Yeah, making observations. The ties in Hollywood that also leak into the political scene is far more tentacles into both sides than what people really realize. And I have a background in that.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. And I don't know how much you know about me. I used to be a studio musician. I've done some acting, and so I was a professional dancer, and I've done some other stuff. And so I've met and known a lot of celebrities, and yeah.
All right. So would you and I don't mean to distract or pull you too far off of your, the subject matter there, but what would you say that was a really nice synopsis there, but what would you say your position is? Are you kind of more on the liberal degenerate kind of, what whatever calls the
I'm very conservative.
You're very conservative. Okay, that's
I'm an independent. I'm an independent, but I'm conservative fiscally and socially and stuff like that.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. I'm also related to a whole shitload of presidents.
Are you really?
Oh yes, I am. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, all of the Adams and stuff like that.
Okay, cool. I mean, it all sounds awesome. So I won't interfere too much.
Okay. Well, no. If you've got something to say, by all means, let's go.
Kris Jenner's birthday bash because of the Bruno Mars performance. I don't mean to be mean or negative, but this party gave extremely bad vibes. And if you watch this video back or just go look online, almost everyone walking in.
My girl is here. Welcome in. Hello, talk.
I don't know.
Coco.
Let me know your thoughts below.
The whole thing was just weird because we never see Bill Gates partying with the Kardashians. Same with Mark Zuckerberg. So why did they decide to make an exception for Kris? And why this year? Is it just a coincidence that the party took place just days after Epstein's emails were leaked?
His wife divorced him right after a bunch of stuff had come out about kids and stuff on his security footage and on his computer. Did you know Bill Gates?
I did not know that, but that kind of figures, right?
Yeah. So if we look at who Bill Gates and Epstein and all those people are hanging with, I guess we could all say they're all kind of like diddlers now, aren't they?
I mean, if you're guilty by association, certainly. But isn't it interesting that like most of the salt of the earth people I know that, go to work every day and they go to the, they get off at 5 o'clock or whatever. They go to a bar, they play a couple of games of darts with their boys, and they go home to their wives or girlfriends or whatever. And they get up the next day, do the same thing. Those guys aren't doing any of that stuff.
No, they're not.
You have all of these like super wealthy people that have every advantage in the world, and they're fucking degenerate. Oh, can I curse on your show? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, a little bit. We can do that as long as we don't hit the TOS too much.
Oh no, I don't hit TOS, but I emphasize things. So, but yeah, I mean, isn't it so weird that they have every advantage in life that you could possibly ask for, and they're degenerate? They're absolutely.
Yes. Yeah, that's the point. That's the point. I'm basically showing everybody that this is how criminal rings work. You're looking at America living in some of the largest criminal rings that you've seen, period, bar none, right now, right underneath our noses, and everybody's asleep at the wheel.
The emails that mentioned a lot of the same people who attended Kris's party? Well, the internet doesn't seem to think it's a coincidence. In fact, a lot of people are saying this party wasn't actually a party, but a secret meeting for the Epstein elite to check on each other and make sure no one talks.
You continue to meet with him over several years, and that, in other words, a number of meetings.
You like how he has that evil, the evil hand rub? I'm just waiting for him to go like this next, and do a cackle. Yeah, Bill Gates, creep.
What did you do when you found out about his background?
Well, I've said I regretted having those dinners, and there's absolutely nothing new on that.
Is there a lesson for you, for anyone else looking at this?
Well, he's dead, so in general, you always have to be careful.
Allegedly, he's dead.
Yes, allegedly.
I'm very proud of what we've done in philanthropy.
Do you think he's dead?
I do, but I think it's. I just like to stoke the fires of the conspiracy theorist in my chat.
Yes, I actually kind of think he might not be, because he used to leave all the time out of the prison in Florida to go to his island every single day. So
yeah,
I'm kind of like,
only had to be back every night, right?
Exactly. So it's kind of like, why would somebody with so much information on everyone suddenly necessarily just, they could just get him out of there and say he died, and nobody really has the footage, right? So there you go. All the cameras conveniently went off. So,
yep. Yeah.
So let's stoke some more of that conspiracy theory.
Yeah. I can't wait for the conspiracy theorist in my chat. Just hit red line.
Yeah. Yeah, let us know.
Be very proud of the work.
Here's what people on Reddit are saying about Kris's party. Someone asked, I really don't understand why these people would be around, let alone celebrate effing Kris Jenner. And then another user responded, because she's a pimp that they have somehow directly been involved with and profited from or off of or paid to gain other pleasures through. It's not rocket science.
Okay, that's kind of stretching it a bit much. I mean, she was married to Kardashian on OJ's case. Okay. So like she's always had ties into the industry through him for quite some time. So those are all speculatory, and most of those are obvious statements that don't necessarily have any real facts to back them up. They all know each other. They're all rich. It is what it is.
Someone else added, people don't get it. This shows just how influential she truly is. This is Epstein level pimpage. And another person wrote, Ghislaine Maxwell got caught. Do you think she might too? Fingers crossed. But there's another parallel between Kris and Ghislaine. See, Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine weren't just predators, they were also financial criminals. Evidence shows that JP Morgan Chase Bank massively underreported Epstein's suspicious transactions to the U.S. government for decades, potentially breaking federal anti-money laundering laws. JP Morgan reportedly opened 134 accounts and moved over $1 billion for Epstein, while ignoring warnings it could fuel his crimes. And Deutsche Bank did the same. Now, what does this have to do with Kris Jenner? Well, if you know anything about her rise to power in Hollywood, you know she's faced allegations of money laundering and shady business deals.
I really hope, Grid, that law change is going to happen through Trump about the whether or not BlackRock and all of those investment firms can buy up all of our residential homes anymore.
You know what's interesting about that, and this is one of those things I find is just kind of weird for that people talk about all the time. So BlackRock, Vanguard, and there's a Blackstone. They don't actually own that much residential real estate in as people think they do. They own a lot of commercial. Obviously they
yeah, they do,
but they don't own that much residential. But what they did is they owned the notes to companies like Progress and American Homes for Rent and Liberty Homes and all of these other people. And what they've done is that they've made loans to those companies. And so there is kind of a thing there, but really they're just like a bank holding a debt. They don't have any control over those properties, but they get all the heat while these other companies are literally buying up entire neighborhoods, and people are blaming BlackRock and Vanguard and all of that, which is very interesting. That it would be better, honestly, if BlackRock did own all of the residential homes, because as they start losing equity, as the market has shifted, you have to understand that a brokerage fund like BlackRock, they're not married to any of those investments. The second they start underperforming or the wind changes, they're gone. They're not in real estate for the long haul. They're here to make a buck and move on. That's their job. That's literally their job. And so the fact that I'm actually really I'm very interested. I have been for a little while now as to why a lot of these companies that do actually buy up all the property are still holding them, because the scariest thing in the world right now is that America Homes for Rent, Progress, Liberty, all of these other companies that own, again, literally entire neighborhoods. In my neighborhood, I could walk, 3 blocks and be in a neighborhood. It's all Progress. Literally every home's a rental home. The scariest thing in the world is that those companies suddenly decide to sell all those homes, because it will tank the market.
It would.
It will literally destroy the market. And
it would. You're absolutely correct on that.
And people lose so much equity in their homes. And so I understand what the public believes, and I understand what the real thought is. But the reality is so much different, right? It's so much different. And I can say this now because my wife doesn't work anymore, but BlackRock was a client of my wife when she worked at Goldman Sachs.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I can't tell you more than that.
No, I know that, because they have NDAs that they sign, just like all the celebrities do, and all that stuff. Sean is also into finance, and he says, I don't think BlackRock is getting into single family homes to flip them. They want to jack up rents and extract cash flow. Before you go on, let's give our guest Grid a proper shout out. And if anyone wants to subscribe, it's Grid Motorsports. An Unreasonable Man right here on YouTube is his channel, and he's very based. Enjoy, gentlemen.
I try very hard. No, he's right. They're not trying to flip the homes. What they were doing was equity harvesting. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So these funds, they buy things that are going to go up in value. And one of the things that really happened is back even pre-COVID is the real estate market was gathering a lot of equity. So if you bought a $200,000 home between 2020, which when COVID hit, and 2022, mid 2022, a $200,000 home could easily double in value.
That's true.
And so there were companies out there that were equity harvesting. Okay. And so what they do is they go line their portfolio with these properties and then draw loans out on the equity in their house. Now, the problem is that a lot of those companies are in serious financial trouble right now, because they took out those loans based on 2023 amount of equity, right? So they owed $200,000 and the house was worth $400,000. So they were able to pull out $175,000. But the mortgage stays the same, right? And so now that the market's been sliding now since 24, the equity is just not. It's not as good to equity harvest. Well, I mean, I've been buying houses. We bought 20 houses this year in Ohio because of this.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I think
so you have a second income and business of what are you house
well,
flipping? Are you renting?
I'm technically retired. So, but we have an investment fund where someone like you, for example, you could you could come to us and say, "Hey, we have a minimum investment of $75,000," and you say, "Hey, I've got this money. Go do something with it." And we use that money to purchase houses. And then we do actually rent them and do the rental incomes and all of that, which is what BlackRock doesn't do. BlackRock doesn't do any of that. I mean, they're a financial money-making machine.
I don't think they're allowed to the way it's set up anyways. They'd probably have
they
to
really
turn it
are.
over to somebody else in order to get that done.
But they
It'd be
do
conflict of interest.
loans.
Yes, they do.
And they don't call them loans, okay? They're not a bank. They don't call them loans. But they make investments in companies that they're going to get paid back for. And a lot of those investments are in companies like Progress, American Homes for Rent, Liberty. There's like 10 big companies across the country. But I buy houses. We charge rate, whatever the rent, whatever the market rent is, and away we go. So, but it is an interesting thing. I think Trump is doing this to appease the public who has a perception that this is what's happening. And I don't think it's going to matter a lot, except it'll make a lot of people really happy in the midterms.
I'm kind of wondering why they're saying investment firms are doing that if they're not necessarily technically doing that and they're just holding, unless it's keeping them from being able to just buy up and hold in general. That could be the issue.
I mean, hedge funds don't really do that so much. I mean, but there's a public perception that that's what they do, is that literally someone from BlackRock is buying the house down the street from you, when that's not the case. All hedge funds are loan sharks. What do you?
Trigger bad BlackRock sounds like a lot. Yes,
they're all loan sharks. I mean,
they are.
That's how that works.
Are we ready to finish this video so I can move it along?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I just want to make sure I can move it along so we're not sitting stagnant with this stupid video.
I apologize.
Maybe not.
No, you're good. You're good.
Not on
We're
the
having
same
good-
level as
we're having
Epstein
good
and Ghislaine,
conversation.
but the pattern is undeniable. And then Kris has also been accused of running a tax scam through her own private church. Kris calls herself a lover of Christ on social media, but calling her a Christian is a stretch, especially since she literally owns a church that hits members with insane fees. In 2009, Kris founded California Community Church, where members have to pay $1,000 a month and also donate 10% of their income. And since the church is registered as a charity, Kris gets a 10% tax break every year. Meanwhile, those monthly membership fees.
Oh, but they're failing to mention, Grid, that Yeezy started his own church first. So that's kind of the pot. Yeah, Yeezy started his own church. So that's kind of the pot calling the kettle black. Now, this is the same thing a lot of rich people do, because most people know that, you make more money getting other people to give and invest on 501c3s than anything else. So that's another way of funneling tax money.
Yeah. The churches are, I mean, these weird churches are just, I don't know.
Like Christian Scientology.
Really bad.
Yeah, it's a Christian Scientology. You have to pay
there was
a huge membership at the front. Huh?
There was a church here that was called, it was based on losing weight.
What?
Yeah. It started out as this like, I don't know. I cannot remember what it's called, but the founder and her husband and all of that, they died in a plane crash a few years ago, and it's I can find it. It's an amazing story of literally like cultism, creating a cult.
Mm-hmm. Which is,
and that's exactly what it sounds like. Jenner's done is they create a cult, there's an exclusivity element to it, so you have to pay to be there, and now you're amongst all of the cool kids.
Christian Scientology, the same thing.
Yeah, I believe that Scientology in and of itself is just crazy.
It is crazy. But just like Sean said, even L. Ron Hubbard said the real money is in religion, and it is. Look at some of the sects that we have. They're very, very rich, you know. Catholicism is one of them. I'm not saying anything against good Catholics. I'm not doing that, but I'm just saying that's one of the richest ones, and you know, so
yeah. I think it's just really easy to take advantage of people who really, really need to believe something and will do anything to do it.
It's extremely easy, unfortunately. He says, hang on, let me start my Buddhist cardio cult for tax benefits. Yeah, that's about right.
You know what? You totally should do that in New York City. You'll make $1 million.
You would. It would be a smashing hit. Let's move on.
Go straight into her pocket. And whenever one of her kids needs a tax write-off, they just donate to her church, keeping the money in the family. And get this, Kim was recently caught listing Kris's church as the beneficiary of her eBay charity auctions. Tax records from PayPal Charitable Giving Fund show California Community Church raked in nearly $45,000 from Kim's sales. But there's more. Reports have been floating around that the Kardashians' constant real estate flipping might be another way they move money around. After news broke that Kylie is building yet another mega home right next to Kris's mansion, people started speculating online that all this nonstop construction could be part of a larger money-moving scheme. And then there's Corey.
Good way to do it.
It is a good way to do it, but these normies don't understand that, especially in California, if you have about 10 to 15% of the original structure still up, it's nothing but a tax write-off. So they're just constantly using tax write-offs and funneling money. This is business 101. This is how the rich stay rich. And then they think it's all one way, but it's not all one way. It's to stay wealthy. Now, there's also implications that they're trying to say that her boyfriend of all these years might be CIA.
Gamble. There's so much sketchy stuff about Corey that he deserves his own video, but we have to mention him here because according to Kanye, Corey is the link between Kris's rumored criminal operation and law enforcement. Corey is rumored to have very deep ties to intelligence circles and some seriously powerful players. Back in 2022.
Yeah, why not? Maybe it's her personal bodyguard. Coco says, where to go? I worked on the set for Scientology Church in LA, and that was the most cultish thing I had ever witnessed. I believe you. You know, I once went into Jehovah's Witness church twice. I was dating somebody that I didn't know was supposed to be like me, and I found out later that they were converting to being a Jehovah's Witness, and they were trying to convert me and all of my money to get them to buy them a house. So I had me a little gold digger too at the same time. Fun times.
Kanye claimed Corey was CIA, saying he was sent in to infiltrate the family. And then this video leaked of Kanye talking to someone on the phone and again claiming that Corey is CIA.
He loves you, Coco.
Yes, Corey's CIA. Like, he didn't even gotta say it. I know it.
So when you put all these things together, it's not hard to see why people are side-eyeing Kris and those Epstein rumors. It's like suddenly Kanye's comments about Kris don't sound so crazy anymore.
Yes, but Kanye is still crazy. And he's also into reputation destruction, which is a very common narcissistic, sociopathic trait, especially with those who are mentally ill. So I take half of what he says with a grain of salt, but there we go. Another possible link into the Epstein connection. Now I have something from Katt Williams, from Diddy, and then we move into all of the California fraud. Now I'm from California. Did you know that?
I did not.
Yeah,
I really actually don't know anything about you. So.
Oh, okay. I'm from California, born and raised, and I left a couple of years ago. I moved to Central Time, like you. So we're going to take a look at here. What is good old Katt Williams got to say? He says he's not crazy. He's just a little early. He's something all right for sure.
Early.
Yeah, he's full of the devil, I would say. But that's just I'm also a preacher's daughter. I'm also that's my expert opinion on that one.
The body. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no.
Tell him no.
I did.
No pottying.
Did Katt Williams say too much? Hollywood's elite have a knack for these perverse humiliation rituals meant to emasculate and control young men. But even I wasn't ready for what Katt revealed to Shannon Sharp. Subscribe to Elites Exposed for more, and just take a look at this.
Right now.
They canceled me for talking about Harvey Weinstein before the thing came out, but he offered to my in front of all my people at my agency. What am I supposed to do? He did all of that. I'm thinking I'm the only black person on the script. I get there, it's 3 other black guys on there. Woo. Huh.
So you wonder what they did to get there.
I told him no. What y'all do?
Sure.
And Katt Williams has been trying to tell you this for more than 20 years. Hollywood and the music industry have had tentacles of control and blackmail spread deep and wide. And the likes of Sean Diddy and Harvey Weinstein are just the head of a very ugly octopus.
You know what the number one job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is?
What?
Is to act like it didn't happen. They all do the same job. It's a cabal. It's a consortium. They rock with who they rock with, and they don't with who they don't.
But I don't think enough people take a moment to look away and truly absorb the depth of the evil they just stared into when it comes to this kind of blackmail. Because the people that operate it are thinking decades ahead and use every perverted vice you have against you. And here's what's tragic. They only need to find you in a moment of weakness once, and they control and blackmail you forever. If you don't believe me, watch this clip of a Katt Williams stand-up from all the way back in 2004, because he's been trying to tell you something for a long time, even before no one was willing to listen.
Motherfuckers be gay in Hollywood, you never fucking expected. They be having these big-ass mansion parties, and the mansion party, the whole mansion is a party, and then it's a separate party in the little rooms. I ain't been famous that goddamn long. I'm excited in a motherfucker to be at the mansion party. You be looking in all the goddamn rooms, and you fuck around and look in the wrong room and
I just went to the wrong room.
He's been places.
Yeah. Hard for life.
Nick, come here.
Come here. That's real.
Is that Andre 3000? I think that was Andre.
Now, I don't know if you've wondered this.
Now, Grid.
Yep.
You know who you remember Mickey Rourke, right?
Yes.
I've walked him in a makeout session. Okay. So, legit. And now that guy is panhandling because he spent all doing drugs.
Yeah, I heard that.
He's like, yeah, GoFundMe because he's money, even though they get married, they somehow just worse than things. The best.
I think your internet's lagging a bit.
Right, it is. I see it. I'm starting. I think that might be what it wants to give and help out with anything. The donor will go towards the new system I'm currently working with. You can find me there on PayPal at Gun, Tip and Delightful Dancer, or Grid. You can go right to Grid's channel. Do you have a dono link I can show?
You could just go super chat. I do. I have Cash app and all of that, but I never. I forget all the time.
You don't push it.
Yeah,
Got it.
I should, but I don't because I suck.
Internet
I suck at grifting.
Yeah, I don't really gift. I say if you want to help me, that's cool. If you don't, I appreciate it. At least hit the like and the subscribe. I'm not much of a panhandler, you know.
Yeah,
like
it really surprised me that Mickey Rourke is in such dire straits. You know, he got the parts. He got a couple of parts in movies just because people liked him and wanted to help him out.
Mm-hmm. Correct. Yeah. And you know, he went into boxing at a really late age. Really messed his face up. He just messed his face up.
Well,
and then added all that surgery afterwards. It's like, oh, sir.
He got injured a lot. I mean, it wasn't just his
he
face.
did.
He got brutalized.
Yes, you're absolutely right. He did. Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know why he thought at such an old age he should go in there and start boxing. Like, is this a mental condition? Maybe too much drugs, possibly. But you know,
yeah.
Now you're looking at it. The result with his skirt, his high heels, and his dog in a purse. You know. So
I didn't know that
about it. Why?
Oh yeah. All these
I remember
guys.
the best movie that I remember him in was Harley Davidson and Marlboro Man.
9.5 weeks.
Mm.
Do you remember that one from the 80s with Kim Basinger?
Not really, but I kind of remember it. But I was young in the 80s.
Yes, well, I saw it later in like the 90s and early 2000s. But you should see 9.5 Weeks with Kim Basinger. That movie it's actually where they based a lot of some of the characters from like, was it 50 Shades of Grey? Actually was based off of him. And then some of it was based off of the movie The Secretary. Not the one with the horse, The Secretary. With what's his name? I can't remember. With Maggie Gyllenhaal and what the hell was his name? I could see his face from Stargate. Can't remember his name.
Oh,
damn it!
Is it the Colonel guy? I can't think of his name, but
no, not Kurt Russell. The other guy with the glasses. He played
Daniel something.
Here, let's look really quick because I can't remember. Here, let me hit the play. They'll tell you.
I do so many of these cases and stories of sexual deviance involve men amongst each other, even when most of them are actually straight. Well, here's the dark, unspoken truth. When you're in those dimly lit private rooms and those secret freak-off parties, it's not about
James
lust.
Spader.
It's about a culture of initiation and humiliation rituals, depending on if you're a young guy looking to get his big break, or someone seasoned looking to prove your loyalty to the people up top that sustain you. That's kind of what you see when John Cena inexplicably walks out naked at an unfunny award show, or Terry Crews wears feminine clothing in sketches a little bit too often. In fact, people like Kevin Hart and Dave Chappelle have spoken about this and straight up refused stuff like this before, alleging it's actually a more deliberate attempt to humiliate and destroy their masculine ego for their Hollywood overlords. It all functions like a big cult, and depravity is their idea of worship. It's ultimately about power and control. And in the long shot, it's about keeping a leash of blackmail on them forever so they never get out of line and threaten the entire system.
You can't be so happy to change shit that you
Hey, Pat,
your life.
You
know how many celebrities went to Diddy's house?
Eating the dinner.
Thinking they was finna dance?
Obama.
How does that feel? You a grown ass man. You gotta leave Diddy party like that. You can't even sit down in the car. You gotta drive all the way home, standing up.
And the sad part is, that's a shame. That
you get your thigh workout. You get your thigh workout crouched like that the whole time driving home, huh?
Did you ever? I watched a special once on. There's like these sports athlete stars, and they were talking about how a bunch of the men in these celebrity positions are on the down low where they're secretly do gay stuff together. Yes. And I was like, that was the first time I'd ever heard that expression or anything like. I was like, that is nuts. Like, that's crazy to think about, that you have so much access to anything you want. You could literally get on a plane. Think about this. How messed up is it that you have enough money in your life? You have enough freedom in your life. You could clear your schedule like that. Get on a plane and fly to freaking Tahiti.
Mm-hmm.
Sit on a beach with absolutely gorgeous women.
Mm-hmm.
Or in your case, dudes. I'm not,
I know what you're saying. And then still want the stick as opposed to those beautiful women.
Yeah, like
yes, I know, it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like you can go out here and do whatever you want, and you choose to do the most depraved things.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane. It's literally insanity.
It is.
I don't have a whole lot that I have to do in life, right? Like I take care of my kids, good to my wife. My wife's awesome, by the way. And other than that, if I wanted to tomorrow, and I just said, you know what, the hell with streaming, the hell with any of my commitments for the rest of the month, my wife and I could get on a plane, go to China, go to Tahiti, go where the fuck we want.
Tahiti.
Now we just don't, but we could. And it has never in my life crossed my mind to suck a man off.
Oh my God, we went there. This is how I know
never
you're
in my
very
life.
straight.
Never in my, it has never crossed my mind ever. Ever. Like it's never been like, hey, you know what? It'd be cool.
Let's just
go
go
over
try
this
and
party
suck
and
one.
whatever they're doing, we're gonna do that. Like I've been to parties where there's been some weird shit going on. I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
look,
So
I'm
have
out.
I.
See,
Yeah. I
I'll
was like,
catch
let
you
me
next
out of
week.
here.
So it's I mean, what is wrong with these people? You ever listen to Will Smith early in his career? He talked about how he had so much money that he would get on a plane and fly to France to buy a pair of jeans and take like 20 people with him just because.
Yeah.
And he wasted a ton of money doing that. And he's like, I came out of that, like changed my whole life, my whole outlook on everything. Because one day I woke up and I was basically broke.
Will Smith is gay. Full blown.
Huh?
Will Smith is gay, full blown gay. Full blown gay.
Really? You think so?
Oh yeah, I know so, sir. Yes.
Okay. I mean, I believe you.
I've seen photos of him in hotel rooms with other men. And
I mean, after Jada screwed him over, I mean,
it's always been a marriage of convenience. She started off as a drug pusher in the industry. She's a drug dealer.
I can believe that.
And she still has him on the hook, which is why he is always half baked when you see him. And she still has one of her own. She's also mentioned publicly, which I would have never done that, but she's also mentioned that she keeps one of her other family members in supply, but on check. So there's no ODing and stuff like that. So that's how she started off. She started off as a dealer going to all the parties. He's always been gay.
That's another thing.
Yeah.
Why in the world? Again, you can do whatever you want. You have the money, you have the time, you have the convenience, you have the access. You do whatever you want. Why would you not? This is what's so just fucked up with modernity.
Mm-hmm.
Our predecessors, when they got a little bit of money ahead, when they had that freedom that comes with just not with basically like fuck you money, when they got there, they would take month-long trips to Cairo or something. Like they would go across, cross the
Have an adventure.
Yeah, they would go have an adventure. Spend all summer traveling Europe on a train, right? They didn't go to Diddy parties. They just did.
No.
And if you have all of that access, you have all of that money, all of that freedom, and you want to do drugs? Seriously?
Wow. Heroin and stuff like that. Yeah, that's always been kind of an issue with people with.
Yeah, for sure. I get it. But I mean, really? That's what you want? Like,
you know about Hearst Castle, right? Hearst, Randolph William Hearst.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, he was the original Playboy. He was the original Hugh Hefner. That's where Hugh Hefner modeled all of his stuff off.
Yeah.
And I used to go to the castle all the time because I like it over there. It's the beach and the ocean on one side and the forest on the other. And you can still see zebras and stuff running around his property up there, by the way. But he started off with the grotto. He started off having the can we say sex on YouTube now? We started off having the sex parties and all of that stuff. And everybody back then did NDAs also. So this isn't new. And he was also a political figure of the time frame, the original mogul. They still own ESPN and many networks and all that stuff still today.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. But I agree with you. Why do you have all of this money and you do the most inhumane, deprived shit? But that's kind of mankind's nature, isn't it? Once they get too much power, too much access, they always have the tendency to go into the dark avenues. It's hardly ever for good, not really good. It's always good based off of what's their particular philanthropist interests, like Bill Gates, like buying up all the land for food and stuff, it's like all this weird control stuff.
I just remember I grew up dirt poor, and I literally remember going, man, I get some money.
Yeah.
I'm going to do X. I'm going to have this adventure. I'm going to buy this thing. I'm going to do this thing. It was never, I'm going to go out and mess my life up.
Yeah, same. But we're more I think, normal than some of them are.
Yeah, right.
I mean, seriously, because they also have a very high, offing themselves rate. It's like they've got all the, like, take Willie Nelson. I heard a song the other day. Trippy was there. I heard a song the other day and I passed it off to him. I was like, this is really good, but this sounds like somebody from Joe Cocker back in the day. And I looked it up, and sure enough, that's exactly who he'd modeled the song from. And one of his sons offed himself. And it's like, you've got all this money, all this access, all of everything that you could ever need or ever want. And yet you're still not happy.
Mm-hmm.
What's your problem? Get your shit together.
Right.
Like, just get it together. But they don't.
It sucks to suck, I guess. I don't know.
It sucks to suck in more than one way, right? Well, I'm glad to know you don't. One of the last sexual men in America.
Never been in the idea. Never been right there.
King, what are you upset with me about? Why are you upset with me? Let me know in a minute.
That's all too familiar to even the biggest names in the music and movie business that you may even love and admire. And shame is one of the greatest strings of manipulation anyone can ever have on you. I remember Terrence Howard said something that was hauntingly true. He said that as a man, you only give up your masculinity once, and after that, you never, ever get it back.
Well, when you lose your man card, that's the only thing I can think of. You lose your damn man card.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
You give up your ability, your right to being a man. A man don't take it, a man gives it. So when you give up that man card, you don't get that back.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
No, I'm saying what I'm saying. You don't get that back. You come into this world as a man one time. You give up that right for anything, for fear of being hurt, fear of somebody doing something, for wanting to gain something. When you give up that man card right, you lose some spiritual energy that has always been pushing through. Like if a woman gives up her womanly right of being a mother and taking care of her family and do all those things, when you give up those things, but when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Get punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man. So I believe that's a big problem with a lot of the actors out there, because they get fluid. And next thing you know, once you go fluid, it's gone. You don't have any foundation to pull yourself back from. So maintain your man card, no matter what.
But for Hollywood's corrupt elites, that's the problem.
Well, what we're looking at on that is basically you're starting to see what the men are doing after the women. Okay, if women have to do sexual crap to get to the top, now you're watching the men do it, and it's coming out to the forefront. And this isn't new, though. This has been going. Rock Hudson, there's a whole slew of them, and they would often get them hooked on drugs. That's why I always tell the guys in the MGTOW, better be careful, because a lot of those guys are homosexuals, and they're telling straight guys that women are bad. Stay away from women, and then you go so MGTOW that you go gay and you don't ever come back. Just saying. Crazy. And I got a massive history in theater, so it's not like I haven't seen it. And they get them hooked on drugs. Oh yeah. And then the next thing you know, they are, I'm not just bi, I'm full-fledged gay now. That's the introduction to it. Are you familiar with any of that, Grid, or no?
Not really. All the people I know that are gay have said they were gay their whole lives. Like they don't, and even if they didn't, I don't think that they would admit otherwise, right? I think it would be it would be a tough thing for them to come out and say, hey, I actually was straight, but now I'm gay because of whatever.
Yeah, most of those guys have always had something that they've been hiding, though. It's like women; they do that. They do that shit too. I used to have dancers all the time try to get me into lesbo crap, and I was like, "Get out of here with that shit! I ain't doing that." It was all the time, and some of them were part-time as strippers, and they tried to get me in, and I was like, "No, thank you. I am not going to be a stripper. Not today. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe if I'm living on the street, ask me then. But until then, no." May have said what? Holy Nova just may have said something that she could be put that she could be put on a tombstone. Okay, well, whatever.
Being a man means you bring a lot of problems to their system. You're a cog in the machine that refuses to turn. Now multiply that by many hundreds, and you see the problem it creates for the...
Let's see. Paro, women live on easy mode, so they do anything to get what they want. I've never lived on easy mode. I don't know what you're talking about. I've worked for everything I own. No one's given me anything. And that's kind of offensive. Good thing I'm not a feminist, but that's all right.
The status quo. Those men refuse to be bullied, enforce their contracts.
Also, men who wish that they were women say things like that. Just saying.
Are willing to put up a fight and threaten to expose the evils of the system. And the corrupt system cannot tolerate that, no matter how depraved it has to become to ensure that it survives. Frankly, I think that's a truism about all clusters of centralized power at the top, not just in the music or movie business. True depravity and evil exists at the very top of the social hierarchy because that's the only way it knows how to cement its control when it becomes desperate. Comedian Charleston White has seen that up close himself, and he'll be the first to tell you that.
And I'm just saying what's been quoted, evil exists in high places. High places and high principalities. Evil don't exist to more poor people. But some of the most evil things appear to happen down off in poverty. Nah, that ain't evil.
Thank you. Yes,
those are conditions and circumstances that have been created not by your choice. Evil exists at the top. Evil gets to decide which military drop bombs. That's evil. The destruction and disaster that these men can cause, and they never touch a battlefield, that's evil. They're sending other people children. That's evil.
And if you think about it, that's perhaps the truest thing ever across history. The only difference is that evil of this kind is much more difficult to hide in the modern age. That's exactly what you've seen over the last decade, as every single year has become a cascading collapse in the reputation of Hollywood and the music industry, as people realize the people up top have the same instincts of greed, lust, and hedonism as the rest of us, except it's multiplied by 1,000. But let me know if you agree and subscribe to Elites Exposed for more.
Yeah, they have an appetite for things that are not accessible to everybody else. And the more debaucherous, the more yummy it is to them, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. That's pretty nuts.
It is. You know, how about we take a look at I can't see without my glasses, so if you're wondering why I'm taking that face, how about we take a look at the fraud thing in California, and then we'll finish it up with the last thing of the Diddy stuff.
Sure.
Because I know you do politics, so that will be good. So I don't have an editor. If I had an editor and somebody working with me, I would be putting my own videos together more. So, but I don't have that, so I have to use other people's videos in order to do some commentary. So if everybody's wondering, that's why I'm doing that. That's why I'm doing that. Let's see. We're exposing here, Benny. Tell us all about it. Now, before I left California 2 years ago, I actually went up past San Francisco into San Jose, all of those areas, and I was taking footage.
Yeah, I had a house in Hayward for a while.
Oh, you did? That's really cool. And you could see all the encampments and all of the drug
right?
use. Oh, they've destroyed my state. They've just completely, I would still be there if they hadn't been destroying my state. So if anybody's mad that Californians are moving out and taking over your state somewhere in the US, that's why, because they've destroyed mine. So here we go.
This has been one of the most encouraging days of my life in this business. This morning, we announced that we will be heading to California to investigate the massive fraud in that state that makes Minnesota look like child's play. You're talking about fraud on a nation-state level, $200 or $300 billion worth of fraud, including but not limited to trains to absolutely nowhere, high-speed rail grift, homeless grift, the Pacific Palisades, houses, nothing being
I used to go trekking about in the Pacific Palisades because it's all cliffs in the ocean right there. I used to hike up there back in the day. I used to watch as Trump was building all those houses up there, actually. So he started developing most of the Pacific Palisades. Until then, actually, most of it was undeveloped past 2008. Most of it was still mostly undeveloped up there. The other issue is, that's the reason why all of you should stop voting to build stuff in your states, because it's usually a damn lie, and they just use it as a way to funnel money. So anytime you would see stuff like this, oh, here, vote, and we'll get this railway built in California. I never voted for any of that shit. Anytime they ever did that stuff, I always vote no on everything, because it raises your taxes too on top of it.
Rebuilt, all of it being laundered into the pockets of the Democrat elites in the state. And the Democrat elites in the state are panicking because, as we saw this week, Tim Walz effectively dropping out of the governor's race in Minnesota and ending his political career because of the fraud. This is a real career killer. And the people of California have
Nothing's
had
a career killer.
Those people have been responding to our email, fraud@BennyJohnson.com, fraud@BennyJohnson.com. And that email has now received over 1,000 tips from state employees, from people that work in federal office and state office and local office, from people that work in municipalities all across California, and regular Californian citizens. Thousands of emails pouring in, one email per minute on average, with direct evidence of fraud, telling us where we should look, what we should investigate. And so we are saying, thank you. This movement is rolling strong. We are going to show exactly the grift and the theft that has occurred in California. It's affected you and me, the American taxpayers. Pay for this. It has to end. And along with it, the politicians that allowed it and most likely profited from it.
That's a lot of big promises, don't you think? Don't you think, Grid? That's a lot of big promises coming from Benny on that.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you can get into. I mean, with California especially, like Gavin Newsom, and so while he didn't start it, the train to nowhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a big deal, and he didn't start it. That existed before him, but even today he is still saying that they need to keep spending the money on it. Even
That's
today.
ridiculous.
And he's been to court over it. There's some allegations of fraud that unfortunately haven't gone anywhere. And he is, to this day, he's still saying that you can't cancel it, because if you cancel it, then those federal funds that they're getting for that train, well, they won't be secured anymore. And now California won't get them. Somebody else might get them. And so this is a kind of insanity that you're up against when you're dealing with, especially California and New York.
Yes.
So it's like we have to spend it all, because we don't spend it all, we won't get any more.
Correct.
Crazy.
Yeah. That's why my dad, when he had government contracts, the first thing he taught me was you have to fulfill all of those contracts, because it's mandatory for them that all of their invoices get paid. Because if they don't, then they don't get the funding for the next round. So yeah, you're absolutely correct on that. Okay, here's this one. Where did it go? Come on.
Investigators to California.
Weird. I hate Newsom, by the way. Twice trying to get him out of office. Twice, man.
It's so crazy that people actually admitted that they voted for him because of his smile.
That's insane. Who said that?
So they did some survey when I was in California. This was probably 2016.
Yeah.
And they polled all these women and said, why did you vote for Newsom? And it was overwhelmingly his smile.
Women, but what year was this? 2016?
I think 16. Yeah, 15 or 16. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
because he
ain't straight either. So, but we can call them a bunch of fag hags. Like, yeah, Grid. You ladies like gay men. I don't know what to tell you. You ain't gonna get nothing from them. All right, here we go. Newsom faces heat as billions in homeless relief funds can't be accounted for. Oh, gee, that never happens, does it?
Shocker.
Such
completely. I mean, I'm shocked. I'm
appalled and shocked.
Dismay. I'm in dismay.
We are sending investigators to a lot of places to try to get to the root of this welfare fraud. California, more than almost any other state, has been so glaring and obvious about the fact that they're giving welfare benefits to illegal aliens. Like, that's not, you go to the California Medicaid website and they will advertise that they are spending American tax dollars to give Medicaid to illegal aliens. You think there's not fraud there? They're getting rich off of the generosity of the American taxpayer. The political corruption that enables it has got to stop, and that's what we're focused on.
All right, here we go. The White House expanding its crackdown on fraud. As President Trump says, California is more corrupt than Minnesota.
So far, 2 people have been charged with corruption related to California's homeless services, and our next guest says more arrests are on the way.
First Assistant U.S. Attorney for the Central District of California, Bill Asaley, joins us now. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning. I know that you've already been investigating. As Griff was just saying, 2 people have already been charged and indicted, arrested. There are these 2 real estate executives for the homeless spending fraud. What exactly do you know? What's coming up in California? What will the Trump administration expose?
Well, listen, I'm uniquely situated. I served in the legislature there in California before the president appointed me to be the U.S. attorney down in Los Angeles. The first thing I did was create the Homeless Fraud and Corruption Task Force. California has spent $24 billion in the last 5 years on homelessness, and no one can account for where that money has really gone for. So the first thing I did was set up that task force, and all we did is follow the money. We already charged millions of dollars in fraud. I can tell you more charges are coming probably as soon as this month. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Nobody has looked at the fraud in California because every level of government has been owned by the Democrats here in the state of California.
What do you think of that so far?
True. No, that's true. That's it's very disheartening to live in California.
It is. That's why I left. Unfortunately. And people don't understand the extent of, it's like illegal immigrants isn't that bad. Oh no. You have no idea how bad it is. It is so bad. Like like when Obama first was getting into office, California's census report. Now this is just people who have reported themselves on the census. Okay. And then before they started cooking the books, because they started cooking the books real good during Obama. Right. And it was already then over 64% of it being Hispanic. And then the rest of it would be like 20 something, 15% black, 20 something white, and the rest Asian, and the rest like Muslim or whatever. It's well past that now. It's well past that. It's horrific. Nobody in California is ever from California anymore. That's how bad it is.
Yeah, it's true.
It's nothing but a land of transplants or immigrants. Take your
very
pick.
Temporary society.
It is. Yeah, it is. And then and then you wonder why the disease count is so through the roof, and all the hospitals are busy and bankrupt, and the jails are busy and bankrupt and full. It's just deal with it.
Said tip of the iceberg. We heard that in Minnesota. We know that there's an alleged $9 billion in fraud.
I'm pro ICE, in case you didn't know. Fred. I'm very pro ICE.
New York Post headline where it says California risks $250 billion fraud. GOP candidates claim after collecting whistleblower tips. What do you make of how big this may go?
Look, California's annual budget is $300 billion. Nobody does any accountability in the state of California. When is the last time you saw an oversight hearing or you saw the attorney general indicting people for fraud? It does not happen in California. So we really don't know. So that's why the first thing I did, I said, we got to start looking at this. We put the FBI, the IRS, various OIGs. We're now taking a look at it. But what I have to tell the people is it takes time to do this properly, to get the evidence so we can charge the appropriate people, no matter who they are or how high up they are. We're going to go after it.
So Gavin Newsom's
like they go after everybody else, like, right, Grid?
I mean, I don't know who they go after other than, people who are doing their jobs.
True. That's true. But I mean, obviously Clintons and all the rest of them, they don't have no charges on them. What makes them think anything's going to happen to Newsom or anybody else?
Yeah.
And that's part of the whole criminal ring. Everybody is in on it, so then you can't get anybody out of it. No, everybody sticks and bands together. That's 101 racketeering.
Response to the president's quest to go after fraud, says Gavin Newsom has been cleaning house since taking
Hey,
office.
Ronan.
He's blocked over 125 billion in fraud, arrested criminal parasites leeching off taxpayers, and protected taxpayers from the exact kind of scam artist Trump celebrates, excuses and pardons.
It's really appropriate he has a crown on his head because he's the king of fraud. Look at the track record of the state of California. $20 billion
He doesn't even
in
look
fraud
like an
just in
honest
the
person.
EDD
Look at that
program during
face.
COVID.
I mean,
and who
yeah.
ran that program?
Like
Julie
women
Su.
are
What
like
did they do?
like that smile. Like, come on, you can't even look at him and know that he's not like a weasel. He looks like a weasel.
Yeah. I don't know. He just looks really fake to me. He looks like he came out of Central Casting.
He did. That's exactly what he did. And they're trying to groom him to be the next president. Oh, like, shoot me now. No, don't literally. I'm just saying.
They promoted her to be the labor secretary. She couldn't get through the Senate. Look at the fraud in healthcare. Look at the fraud in homelessness. High-speed rail. They told the California people that they would spend a few $1 billion to build this rail. We're talking over $100 billion now. No, there's no rail. There's no rail in California. Who took the money? He's the king of fraud. There's never been this much fraud in the history of the American history.
It's true.
Well, that's what
The train to nowhere. I was just
Ron
talking about
Khanna
that.
said the same thing, and I think it's going to be interesting because he thinks he's going to run for president, and he wants a bipartisan look at what's going on in California. As you know, he's a Democratic congressman from up in the Silicon Valley.
Well, they should be careful what they ask for because it's coming. The accountability's coming, and we're going to hold everyone accountable.
Real quick, Bill.
We'll
so
see.
does the state of California have
Big words,
programs,
big promises.
Auditor or manager to do oversight to stop fraud?
They have an attorney general. There is a state auditor, but everyone is part of the Democrat Party. So when I was up in the legislature and we tried to have meaningful accountability, there's no appetite, there's no interest, because if they actually did the accountability, it would be an indictment on their programs and their leadership, and they don't want to do that. So they want the
Very
appearance
true.
of looking like they care about fraud, but they care more about pushing money out the door to appease their political constituency to legally buy votes than they do about cracking down on fraud. California's emptied its prisons. They have half as many prisoners as they did 10 years ago. They're not interested in fighting crime.
Right.
They're interested in supporting criminals.
And by the way, yesterday, Sean Duffy said we're going to hold back $160 million because you have delay revoking 17,000 commercial driver's license to immigrants, many of which don't speak English.
They love nothing more than illegal immigrants and criminals in the state of California. Just go look at the legislature's policies.
They do.
Look at what's happening in Minnesota. People work so hard for their paychecks. And then these leaders that they've elected go in and they are being used to steal that money and give it to people so they can buy expensive cars and take expensive vacations in big houses. So thank you for exposing all of this. We
Yeah,
appreciate
and
it.
to make alliances with lots of other dubious types of characters. He says other countries built their rail networks over time and piece by piece, but the U.S. tore theirs out a long time ago. They set that rail up for failure. They absolutely did. Okay, and I will message you behind the scenes. Are you also on Discord? Because I don't go on Instagram as much. Because if I do, I get bombarded. So let me know, Ronan. I'll go there if that's your only spot. But let me know. Did you have anything you wanted to say to that? Because you're
not real. I mean, I said it all earlier. California is just terrible. It's a failed state. Just not.
We still have the best weather, though.
Maybe.
We do. We have Mediterranean weather. That's why we don't get any like major tornadoes and stuff like that.
Now you get forest fires.
We do get most of those are also started, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
They aren't just natural occurring things. And if we would tend to our forests, it wouldn't be such a big deal to begin with. Okay, so I have a comment from good old Diddy. Because, you know, he's giving you an insight to what the industry who runs all the medias that you guys like to watch. He's going to give you an insight as to exactly what's going on. And he means every word of it. And he's not wrong.
I'm going to take your souls. We have the power. We control what's hot. We control what your kids listen to, what they dance to. We control what's in video games. We control everything.
When Sean Diddy looked dead in the camera's eyes and told the world he owns their children, it awakened a beast inside this country singer.
He's looking right in the camera saying this, meaning he's looking at me. And I'm thinking, oh, is that right, Sean Combs? You own my sons? You own the soul?
Oh, I like this guy.
Really? And I thought, this guy has no fear whatsoever of a mom or a dad and what they would do to him if he came and tried to take one of their kids. Basically, what you're seeing there is a demon-possessed man. And I really don't think that the people on the other side of the table, the predator class out there, don't really have an understanding of that. It's almost as if they have no fear of the American parent, of the dad, the regular guy, the guy that keeps to himself, works hard every day, just leave me alone guy. I think they don't really understand what that person would turn into if you put your hands on one of their kids, because they would rip you limb from limb. They would become the most primal beast you've ever met in your life. They would lose all inhibition. You lose, they win.
And honestly, I believe the absolute arrogance you're seeing from the likes of Sean Diddy is because he knows the men and the fathers of this country have been deliberately weakened over the last 4 decades. But all it takes is for a father like John Rich to stand up and give every other father the courage to stand beside him against the sinister ideas corrupting their children. Watch, for example, what this abuser said when asked what he looked for when selecting his victims, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
Were there certain characteristics that you looked for in children before them?
In children, yes, but more, I also looked at their families. If I thought the father was a threat, I would not approach the child.
When even this kind of moral darkness is terrified of a father's rage, you know how powerful masculinity really is. But there's something much more terrifying that Katt Williams recently exposed about the music industry. So click the link below to watch that full break.
So what do you think of that?
I think John Rich is right.
I think John Rich is very right.
Have you seen his interview with Sean?
No, I want to. I haven't
Sean
gotten
Ryan.
to it yet.
Yeah, Sean Ryan. The interview with Sean Ryan is really good.
So I will look for that one then. What did he say that you thought was exceptionally?
Just the whole thing is like it's like really good. I think it's right around an hour 45 minutes long, but it's just really good.
Well, I've been saying for a while now, they're after the women and the children. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, all these guys who are sitting around saying, we don't have to do anything for these women. We don't have to do anything about this or that. Well, they know that men who are complacent and basically sitting around like women and don't want to do anything, they can come in and sack a kingdom. That's what they're looking to do. Because
they're also driving that.
Go ahead.
But they also drive that wedge in so that.
Oh yes.
So that women don't think that they need the man to do that. So when the man sees the problem and says, "Hey, there's a problem. This is bad. This is going to end bad," the women don't believe him. They call him all kinds of various things, overprotective, smothering. I'm sure that.
Dumb women do that. Dumb women, naive women do that. I've not been around how many women have I been around who say things like that? Mostly the college girls would say stupid shit like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's the dumb kids who say the dumbest stuff.
I need to be independent.
Yeah, you can be independent, but nobody's ever that independent. Like you're never going to be as strong as a man. That's just how it is. Deal with the biology.
Well, it's not just that; it's the ability of violence, right? The capability.
Yes, that's what I mean. Yeah, they don't have the same capability. That's why whenever I talk about this stuff, and I go and I talk on Ronins or whatever the case may be, people keep forgetting that men are apex predators. Okay, that's just how it is, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's how it needs to be, and it's the good men that keep the pirates at bay. But if the good men aren't going to take care of the job, then you're starting to see all the predators ushering in.
It's true.
And so that's why they seem to think they have access to our kids. Now, unlike some women, I'm dangerous, Grid. For a broad, I'm very dangerous. You know what I mean? So, and I've got a broken nose to prove it. I've been around. I've done some things. I've been attacked. It is what it is. But I'm never going to be able to take out a 6'1", 6'2" man.
Mhm.
That's never going to happen. Can I give an average guy or a weakling a run for his money? Yes, I could. But past that, no. And I know I stay in my lane. I know where I belong.
So before I got married, I dated a girl, and there was an ex dude in the picture, kind of, sort of, and he managed to convince her that I was the because I'm fairly honest and open about, I know I'm capable of great violence. I'm not a nice person. I know that I'm, and a lot of people would say that
That's
I'm mean.
the way it should be.
And so this dude literally convinced her that I was going to be an abusive person to her. And so we broke up. No big deal. It can't be around somebody that doesn't trust you anyway. So I met my wife right after that. My wife actually has told me, we've been married probably 2 years or something like that. And we were just sitting around talking one night, and she's like, one of the biggest reasons I married you is because I always feel safe with you. Like there's no point that I feel unsafe.
Mm-hmm.
Like somebody could hurt me or something could go wrong that you couldn't fix. And that's really the way it should be. And I honestly think that there's a point that if women see that weakness, they instantly lose all attraction. Now they can talk themselves a little bit out of attraction because, oh, this guy's, he's mean, or he's got a temper, he's angry, all of these things that we've been told that are undesirable traits in men, right? And you have a whole subset of weak ass men going around telling women that dude's going to beat you.
Really? Oh, simps.
Worse than simps. They're backstabbers, backbiters, whatever. Yeah.
Simps are backstabbers.
Yeah.
I've never seen a simp who never positioned themselves in order to play both ends from the middle. So that was another thing that I was talking to Coco about behind the scenes. I'm like, we need to talk about this.
You're roboting.
I'm roboting. I was talking to Coco the other day. Is it better now?
That's better.
Okay, about about how maybe we should do a stream about the dangers of simps and the simp behavior. And she's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Every simp I've ever known, any type of person in that type of category, they're always a backstabber. They put themselves in the vein to play both ends from the middle, so they can move at any time. And those are also the same guys on the field in the military and stuff who get other people killed, and stuff like that. I'm a very strategic type of a broad. So like, I want to talk about all those types of things. What did Uncle Gunn say? Let's see. He said, people say this is part of the matrix, then do nothing. They actively participate in all of it. Walmart, Target, Amazon, cable TV, credit cards, et cetera, et cetera. The sheep fun things they claim to hate. You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. It's like when people say, oh, fuck these modern women. And I'm like going, what do you mean modern women? You're a modern guy. We're all in modern society. There's no differentiating anything. We were both human beings. We were both cut from the same cloth. We both share exactly the same traits. It's just some things are more prevalent than the others. There's no differentiating between human beings. I'm sorry. It's why nothing's ever changed under the sun. Even the Word of God says that.
Yeah. My dog just opened the door and then left.
Ooh, what kind of dog is it?
A husky.
Mine's
she wants to be let into the house.
I want to see her. Mine's a fat Frenchie.
Yeah, she wants to be let in the house, so she just opened the door and just ran to the door of the house.
That's cute. I love.
She's probably sitting there waiting for me, and be like, "What's going on? Why is he not here?"
I think I need
to open that door if she can. If she can.
Do you think a husky would get along with a Frenchie?
Some would, but like mine has a really high prey drive, and so small animals are.
Oh, never mind then. Okay, because sometimes I look at her and I go, I need a bigger dog just to protect you, because she thinks she's bigger than she is,
Yeah, now a lot of huskies don't have that super high prey drive, but I don't know. Mine will
male or female.
Female.
Oh, ooh, really?
Yeah, she has a super high prey drive. So when we moved into this house, probably 5 or 6 years ago. We, there are rabbits here. They're fine. And she would literally, one day she's walking into the house and she has this thing in her mouth, and I look at it and it's a headless rabbit. So I took it away from her and I threw it away. And she was so angry because she's so let down, so hurt because she was going to go show mom what she had done.
Yeah.
And so after that, she started hiding the bodies in the holly, under the holly tree, so that we couldn't see them. And then my father-in-law cleared out, cut the holly tree up a little bit so he could mow under it. And sure enough, there was like a little bunch of dead bunny carcasses.
How many? 5?
At least 5. They were a lot.
Oh my gosh. Where do you live, in the middle of nowhere? All these rabbits?
No, I live
really.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, but it was very funny. It was funny because she just learned that don't give dad the prize and hide it. So now she,
well, you weren't mad about it, so I don't know why the dog would be there. I mean, gonna make some rabbit stew, maybe.
I mean,
good.
I mean, I don't want it, but she's very proud of it. But yes, one of my chats says that's code for I have no cats around my house. True, we don't have cats. I tell everyone, like, don't bring small dogs over because I'm not really sure. I don't think she'd go after another dog, but
she might go after another dog. Is she fixed?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Gosh, and she still does that. Wow.
Yeah, because we fixed her really young, and so that tends to they kind of have a lot of puppy left in them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, she's just a killer. I mean, she just is.
After this, I was going to show some Disney rides that went bad. People getting killed on it. Is there anything you wanted to talk? Because this was unplanned, everybody. I didn't know.
We'll do it. We'll do an actual interview stream. For some reason, I thought when you said that you would be on, I was like, okay, we'll do the interview. It's fine. And it actually works out for me. I'm going to go play tennis with my wife as soon as I get done here. So
I'm so jealous. I miss playing tennis.
Mm.
I have 2 really bad rotator cuff tears right now. One goes into my pec, and then I have one right here. So I can't even lift weights right now. And I'm still looking for a guy who does prolotherapy in this area, and I can't find anybody. It's really weird. At least in California, I could find stuff like that. Over here, I'm having a hell of a time finding anything that I need, to be honest.
Yeah. I had a bunch of problems with my knee and hip, and my orthopedist suggested this dry needling technique, which is kind of like acupuncture.
Mm-hmm.
It told me before I did it that it would work as well as it did. I would have said you were lying, 100%.
Really?
Yeah. And so what happens is that like on, like the way I'd hurt my knee, it wasn't like a tear or anything, but the muscles had been strained, and then I had not allowed them to heal or to relax. And so it was basically just a knot of muscle in my below my knee.
Ow.
In my hip. And so when you would move a certain way or whatever, it felt like you had a torn ligament or something, but they MRI'd everything, nothing's wrong with it. And so they go in and they do this dry needling, and what it does is it causes trauma to that bunch of muscles, and it causes it to react. And then once it reacts, it relaxes, right? So think of it as, it's a fist that can't not be a fist because it's been that way for so long, and then you come and poke it with something sharp, and it
relaxes,
and then it can relax again. So at least that's a very crude explanation of it, but honestly, it was incredible how well it worked. Now, obviously, I didn't have a tear or anything. All of that had healed, but I couldn't get down like into a kneeling or a prone position like for shooting and get back up easily.
Nice.
Yeah, I could not do it. And then once I did that, now I move a lot better, and I was able to start working out and all of that.
That's awesome. So that ties into this question because are you familiar with prolotherapy?
I know.
Okay, I'm going to tell you, you're going to dig it. It's kind of like what you're describing, but it's a little further. This man is asking me, Trigger, are you going to get surgery for your shoulder? No, I'm going to do prolotherapy. And prolotherapy is where they take your own blood, put it in a singular, and they spin it really fast, and they extract the platelets, which have the growth factors from your own blood into your own body. And then they go in with a needle, like what he's describing. They're usually, I've had them, oh, sweet mother of God, have mercy. One needle was this long one time when I was doing my knee, because I did have knee surgery because I blew out my right knee as a professional dancer. But some of the other guys, they'll go about that, like that long. And they go into all the injured areas. They re-injure in between the joints. You can feel it. This is not fun. This is not for the weak or the weak of heart. You will scream if this stuff will bother you at all. This is a high pain threshold. I'll tell you right now. And they go in and they re-injure it and they inject the blood back in. Now, I also did one where they took from my femur, the growth factors from there, the platelets from there. And then I did the first treatment on this shoulder. And oh my goodness, I went from having almost no strength to probably 70% strength back again immediately. I could lay on my right side again. I had no pain, but because I've moved so many times and I did a bunch of stupid stuff and I'm rough, okay, I'm kind of a tomboy, I reopened the tears. So I was supposed to have 3 of those treatments that would have completely healed, but I only did 1 because it was really expensive and it was during COVID. So everything got shut down and then I moved away. So if you ever want to preserve and not have to get surgery where you have to get surgery again, because once you do that, it compromises the area and you have to do more surgery, right? That's part of the grift of doctors. You do this and it can even regrow the cartilage. It can regrow cartilage. It can regrow the stuff in between the discs in your neck. I can't remember that squishy stuff. What is it called? Do you know what it's called? I can't remember the name of the squishy stuff.
Sure.
No, the stuff between the discs in your spine, the squishy stuff. I can't remember what it's called.
I probably could have until you asked me.
Sorry.
It's all right. It's the really fibrous disc. I can't think of what it's called.
But you know what I'm talking about. So
yeah.
You can even regrow that stuff.
The meniscus.
Yes, there we go. Thank you. Thank you, people. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So that would be very beneficial for all of you who should probably be avoiding surgery. I'm not going to lie, because once you do that, you're going to be doing it again. And this has kept me.
It's so easy to hurt yourself, though. Like I tore up both of my shoulders, and my right shoulder, I was able to pretty much fix that.
Okay. On your own, or did you?
Yeah, just doing a lot of exercises and stuff like that. But I tore it up really well, and then my left shoulder, I really jacked it up, and worse is I kind of just left it alone. And then I went to the orthopedist, I couldn't raise my arm like above my shoulder really, and then so he's like, and I went to my orthopedist here in Tennessee is just amazing. He does a lot of the sports athletes and things like that. So he's like, what'd you do? And I told him, what stupid stuff I'd done. And he's like, okay. He's like, well, we're going to give you a shot of this, whatever it was.
Steroid probably.
Shoulder. Yeah, some sort of steroid. He's like, we're going to give you a shot of something, and then you're going to have to do physical therapy. We'll check back in 8 weeks. And I honestly thought that he was going to schedule a time for the shot, but nope. This nurse comes in with this gigantic freaking needle.
Oh yeah, I had the same one in my knee.
Because I had what was called frozen shoulder.
Oh no, that's even worse.
And so he's like, the shot's gonna relax everything, but you've got to do the physical therapy to actually like make it work. And I did. I mean, so I fixed my shoulder in like, I don't know, like 12 weeks or something like that. Like basically. He's like the first like 6 weeks in, he's like, hey, I talked to the physical therapy people. They said they've never seen anybody like attack the physical therapy like you have. I'm like, heck yeah, man. So, and then, so that was, so I've now messed up both shoulders, my left hip and my left knee. And, it was rough. You know, it was a good time, and people just don't realize how easy it is to hurt yourself. Anyway,
Oh, yeah.
It's really easy to hurt yourself, and continuously hurt yourself a little bit, and then not let it heal, and then you just continuously mess it up, which is what I
Yeah.
would do. That's what I'm guilty of. Is I never like tore it like all at once. It was just like a little bit here and there, and a little bit here and there, and just being really hard headed and not doing anything about it. But yeah, I don't know. I'm very fortunate to be where I'm at, and just because of the various the access to the various doctors who treat the athlete, other athletes and things like that. So
I'm not trying. He's already told me he'd do it. It's just planning it. My doctor, his name is Mark Darrow. He's out of LA. He treats a lot of major athletes and stuff too. I got the best results from him. And so he's going to be coming by along with my other doctor, who's an innovative specialist and anti-aging. And she's also going to be coming by, as well as some other people. So I really want to help. I really want to help people, to be honest with you, because people are really stuck with what they think is conventional medicine, and that conventional medicine has their back, and conventional medicine does not really have your back. It really doesn't. It's made to keep you into the system and to make money for the
Yeah, I think
system,
so.
not get you healed and better, because that doesn't give them money.
yeah, but I mean, I think that there's there are people like me that I don't go to doctors really. I don't go to I don't get vaccinated. I don't do a lot of that stuff just because
Same.
I am who I am. And like when I tore my knee up, I wouldn't admit that it was like hurting for a while. Like I was just like, it's just getting a little tougher to get up and down. Yeah. I've been standing all day or whatever the excuse I used was. So
When I blew out my right knee from it actually was falling off of a ladder, finished it, but I was having problems with it before from being a dancer.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that constant pushing yourself and pushing yourself and pushing yourself. Exactly. Yeah, I do the same thing. And then before you know it, it turns into something chronic, like a dummy. It's like you got to give
Yeah.
yourself a chance to heal, people. But none of us really have patience for that, unfortunately.
I mean, I just do stupid stuff. I mean, like the way that I tore my left shoulder up was I'd already heard it. I knew that I had heard it, but I was like, it's all right. And then I was shooting a match, and I was in a what we call a jungle run, and it had rained, and the ground was like this really fine dust that basically turns to grease when it gets wet.
Ew.
Really super slick mud. And I'm just going through there, and I was shooting shotgun, and I remember I knew I had to hit a target over here, and then I had to like really torque over to get one on the other side. And when I went this way, my feet came out from under me.
Oh.
And I just went up and I put my arm out, and my arm hit them. Obviously I'm sliding through this mud. My arm went out and down and behind me, and I was like, I couldn't even get up.
Me and P. Fletch can feel what you're describing.
Yeah,
We can
Yeah.
feel it.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
I ended up. This is how stupid I am. So I did that, and I couldn't even get up. I had to literally be lifted. Of course, I had a lot of gear on too, but I had to be lifted up by a couple of dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, I had about an hour between my next stage. It was lunchtime, and I cleaned all the mud off my guns, got everything kind of cleaned up, took like 4 ibuprofen, and went and shot the next stage. And I just didn't stop. But I mean, I've fallen on my face. I had, but that's just that's who I am. It's like, and I know I'm going to hurt myself. I mean, I just, at this point, I just have to deal with the fact that, unlike when I was younger, I can't just keep going.
Yeah.
If I hurt myself, I'm going to have to slow down a little bit.
I don't like the whole getting older thing. And then you're like, oh, I can't do this like this anymore. Damn.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard to admit, but I am 55. So.
Oh, you are? I didn't know that. You look good.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I'm 55. Yeah.
I can't shoot a shotgun right now. I'm very upset about this. I love guns, just so you know. I'm a very gun toting kind of broad. So
Okay.
Pew pew pew. Let's go, boys.
Yeah. I'm a competitive shooter, so I shoot all.
Oh, you are? Oh gosh,
Yeah.
that's fun.
I just launched. I'm in a process of launching a new channel called Gun Prattle, and that's what we talk about. Is
Oh my
guns.
gosh.
It's gonna be all gun stuff. I actually have are we friends? We're close to friends. She's a movement coach, so she actually teaches people all the physiology and the how to move more efficiently and be faster and all of that. And she's going to be on at the end of the month. I think the last week of the month. Yeah, the last week of the month. Her name is Kita Bussey, Busse.
I've never heard of her, but I will tune in.
She's written a bunch of books. They're on Amazon. Yeah.
Oh, really? That's cool. I will check her out for sure. You know, my original idea for coming on YouTube, I thought about wearing like not overtly revealing, but just kind of like some sexy lingerie that covers enough and then shoot guns. That's what I thought about doing as an opener. I thought that'd been kind of funny, but whatever.
Okay. Yeah. It's just what I do. I do a lot of stuff. So
that's really cool. You're very interesting. I am so going to be tuning into that. So
yeah, we're going to do Gun Prattle tomorrow. Clover Tack and I are going to do an episode live. Now that'll be on Kick probably because we'll be handling guns. We can't do that on.
Do you have the link? And I'll share it right now.
I don't, but I'll have it up tomorrow. It'll be on. It will be in my Discord.
Okay.
I'll put everything out there, and then
okay.
I'll do the. It'll be on. The link. It's Kick Gun Prattle. Wait, hang on. I do actually. I just got to find the right tab. I've got too many screens up. Let's see.
He's looking to get the link for all of you to enjoy his Gun Prattle.
Yeah, Gun
Watch
Prattle.
all the training, and I am very interested.
Yeah, we're going to be talking tomorrow. We're probably going to be talking handguns.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The differences in handguns, or one's best?
Yeah, I'm not really
home?
sure. I think we're going to be talking about mostly like the 1911s and 2011s.
Ooh, I like 1911.
Some other cool things like that. So, just basically, I don't, I haven't really laid out the episode. I just, I don't know. We'll see where we go with it. It's going to end up being about 2.5 or 3 hours. So.
Very cool.
Can I post it in your chat? Do you have links? Can I post links?
Let's try. I don't do this very often.
Yeah. All right.
Let me see it. Let's see. If not, then give it to me and I'll
show up.
Did it show up, guys? No? Can you put it in the private chat and I'll copy it?
Yeah, I have to.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. Minimize this.
I don't know how to open it. What do you use? Do you use OBS or do you use StreamYard?
So I use Talk Studio for all my streaming. And it works great.
Talk Studio.
It's Streamlabs.
Oh, I think Ronan showed me that one, and I was trying to mess with it.
Mm-hmm.
And there was something.
It has an OBS.
Oh, it does?
It has an OBS that works with it, so it makes it really simple for people like me.
I need simplicity also. It's kind of hard to do this and then have to worry about all the technical. All right, everybody, for Grid One's new channel, Gun Prattle TV, right there. Remember to subscribe and to like his video for tomorrow. Mm-hmm. What time are you going to be airing it?
Noon. It'll be at noon tomorrow.
Noon. So 12-hour time Central.
Yep.
P. Fletch says, ask Grid what his thoughts are on the 4.630 as a general purpose cartridge.
I don't have an opinion on it, really. I have a friend of mine's evaluating. I believe that's one of the cartridges he's evaluating right now for the Marines. And
oh, really?
Yeah, he said he likes it as an intermediate. Well, hold on.
I'm not familiar with this one.
It's a new one, I believe. 4.6 by 30 millimeter. Wait, yeah, I think it's an intermediate cartridge. Let me see if that's what Brian's talking about, because I didn't pay that much attention to it today.
That's okay.
He just had all this stuff. Like he's just like. Let's see. He posts too much. I can't find it. I think that's what Brian was talking about today. That he likes the cartridge. He just wishes the gun was different. But he really likes the machine gun version.
Yeah,
I think is what he said. I don't know. I don't have an opinion on it. So.
Triggerman said he subbed. Thank you very much, Triggerman.
Awesome.
And P. Fletch says it's a PDW cartridge, but
PDW.
CMMG has pistols built.
Oh, I haven't messed with it then. I thought he was talking about the new cartridge.
So as soon as you mess with it, I'm sure you'll have something to say about it.
I don't get into too much new stuff. I say that I have a bunch of guns in different chamberings, but because I'm a competition shooter, almost everything I do is in 9mm as far as pistols and PCCs, like almost everything. I've done some side quests into like 5.7 and some of the other small fast movers, but I just don't care enough about it, and I shoot so much. So I shoot like I'm in the middle of training right now. So, and what that looks like for me is 3 to 4 days a week. I'm on the indoor range or the outdoor range, depending on what I can do. And if I'm shooting, and usually I'll be shooting pistol, and I'll shoot about 250, 300 rounds per day. That I'm.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so I shoot, and I loaded 700 rounds yesterday. So
what is you're using 9mm. So which one are you? Is it like a Springfield? Like what is it?
Oh, I have a variety. Currently right now, the two guns that I'm using right now is the Bull SRS-2, which is a 2011. It's a very good gun. The Israelis made it. They know how to make guns that work. And the second one, huh?
I think I want one.
You want one? They're middle expensive. And then I have the other gun I'm using, and I'm using it mostly right now, is Alpha Foxtrot Romulus, which is another 2011, and they're basically the same gun. Just one has a red dot and one has iron sights.
Okay.
And then I have several 2011 pattern guns, so I use those mostly for competition. But I have Glocks, and I have a Glock. Pretty much have every. I pretty much have every handgun that I can shoot 3-gun with or USPSA with. I have a CZ P09. I have a CZ P10C. I just all of them. I have all of them. 2011 Boomer Spotted.
I'm like trying to look up which ones, how much. Oh, okay, so they start around 1,000-ish.
Yeah, that would for like a Prodigy or something. It's probably right around 1,000.
So they look pretty similar to a 1911.
Yeah, it's a double stack 1911, but it's a modular. So like, the frame is really, so you can change out the grip module. You can get a metal one. You can get polymer ones. You can have aluminum, steel, whatever. And then the frame is just the frame is really small. And then they're different. You can also get them to where they have different top ends. So the Romulus was actually on sale recently for like $1,600. Which is a steal of a deal. And then I think I paid $2,200, something like that for my Bull. But they're not super expensive, but they're not like very, very cheap either. Really like the Beretta Model 80 and 32 ACP. Really neat.
I figured you'd like that one. Can't wait to get my hands on one, he says. And then Gun says, if you can't shoot a stock out of the box gun in the B zone at 25 yards, buying an expensive custom race gun isn't going to help you. I will agree with that. I'm actually a pretty damn good shot. I would love to practice and then try competitions, to be honest with you. I would love it. I love that type of stuff. I'm very competitive.
Yeah. So we have this thing where there's a lot of people who say some very similar things, and then they come out and they are dead ass last. So it's the same,
I would need to be trained, of course. So,
well, it's like anything else, right? Like there's a reason the equipment works, right? And that's why, and there's a reason why literally all current generation carry guns look like 10 years ago competition guns, because they just work. They work in the rain, they work in the mud, they have to work, because we've spent thousands of dollars to get somewhere. If the gun doesn't work, we wasted all that. So
yes.
So I there's this mantra amongst the FUDs that, all they need is a Glock with iron sights. And I'm like, well, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Yeah. Will it work? Absolutely. Is it going to work as good as a guy with a, 2011 with a target barrel and matched ammo and a red dot? No, it's not. Now,
no, I wouldn't.
Now I will say this, that the current last couple of generations of Glocks are way better as far as just being accurate. They used to not be very accurate. I mean, and I'm splitting hairs here with accuracy because I have, like different accuracy standards. But when now they're hard to shoot accurately, but if you get used to the grip angle, if you get used to the sights and the recoil, if you train with it enough, the gun's going to more or less hit where you point it. But it's just that it's a little bit more of a learning curve to get really good with a Glock. And I'm not, and actually I'm not even, and normally I wouldn't say that because I don't necessarily. I think that if you just train with it, then you get good with it. But Ben Stager, who's a world champion, who trains people literally every day and has fired every gun on the planet, and seen all of the problems that all of the people have, he'll probably tell you the same thing. He'll probably tell you that 90% of the people can, if they shoot a Glock and they shoot it often enough, they'll shoot it well, and then they'll do fine. But it's going to be way easier. The learning curve is better the learning curve is high, is shorter and faster with like a 2011, which has a natural point of aim. It's and it has better recoil control and all of that.
That's why I want one.
Yeah. The majority of cops carry Glocks. Yeah, that's unfortunate too. Yeah, Glock makes an AR that we can't get here.
I had no idea that they did that now. I need to start subscribing to gun magazines again. I used to have them all the time. I don't do it anymore.
Yeah, Magpul made a bunch of parts for them.
I had no idea. Does it look good? Let me look it up here. Let's see.
I just want to remind my chat that I can turn any show into gun prattle.
It's all right. I don't mind a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it doesn't look too bad.
Mm-hmm.
This is it right here, right? Let's see. Present. Stop sharing that screen. I have to change the screens. I think I like that one, but I don't know how it shoots though. So it might be more buzz than worth it.
It's just a standard. There's nothing super special about it. It's just got a lot of cool guy stuff on it.
Cool man stuff. Hey, some of us girls like that cool man stuff too. So don't leave us out totally. Is there a specific AK you would recommend or that you think is most reliable and whatnot?
Sorry?
Is there an AK that you would recommend that's most reliable? No.
I hate AKs.
Which one? What type of a style? Like, what other one would you like if it's not an AK?
I mean, so I shoot. I build my own ARs. They're so reliable. They're so easy to shoot. They're very fast and they're very, very accurate. An AK is none of those things. They're not particularly reliable, although people believe they are for no damn good reason at all. They're not accurate in general. You will occasionally get an accurate one, but that's like an accident more than something real. And the ammunition back when the ammunition was cheap, when you could buy 7.62 for like $30 for a 10 of 1,000 rounds, it made sense to have an AK. But now it doesn't at all. Like, it's dumb. She thought you made up the AK-74. No, that's a real thing.
I did at first. I was like, 74? I've never heard of a 74.
Yeah. Now I have an AK pistol. My son loves it. It's ridiculous. You can't hit anything with it. It's just the most horrible thing in the world. But my kid loves it. My kid loves it, and that's all that matters.
How far off when you go to shoot something is it off by?
I have no idea. It's like minute of pie plate. P. Fletch, the AK I would recommend is a Ruger Mini 14. I mean, it is almost accurate, but still not accurate.
I like Rugers.
I like most Rugers.
You probably know more about them than I do.
I also have a different level of. I really have a different level of tolerance for accuracy. Let me see. I might have a picture. I don't think I do, but I might.
Yeah, let me see if you do. And P. Fletch says the AK-74 was Russia's answer to the M16A1 and the 5.56 by 45 millimeter.
It was so that they could use our ammo and they could sell them to NATO countries.
Yep.
Those two things.
I have a lot of that ammo. Don't ask how much. I don't want somebody to show up at my door. Knock, knock, knock.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know what state you're in, but nobody cares except for California.
I know, right? And maybe Minnesota and definitely New York. Do you see the picture?
I'm trying to find I don't know if I still have it. I know I have it on my phone, but it'll take forever to find it because I have like thousands of pictures on my phone. But I think I drug it off and put it onto my computer or one of the computers. I just don't think it's on this one, but we'll find out. No, that's all right.
We'll show it next time. Are we going to do this again next time? We'll do it properly.
Yeah, we'll do an actual like interview.
Yeah, and I want to know more about you so I can, because I'm very professional about it. Like I'll actually have the questions ahead of time and I'll show you. So if you don't like something, you can change it.
Yeah.
Because I'm very respectful that way.
Okay. I'm going to try one more time, see if I can find it.
Okay, that's no problem. Give us a minute, everyone. He's looking for a photo.
Yeah, just carry me for a little while.
I'll carry you for a minute. I could put on the this other video that leads into the Disney stuff.
Maybe.
Exposing the elite's unthinkable sadistic rituals was another short one. I think it's like 8 minutes or 6 minutes. And then, back in the day, I used to work at Disneyland because I used to live real close by. So I'm not too surprised when people got hurt. It happens. Let's see. What is the audience are saying? Uncle Gun says AKs are dead. Imports are expensive. Ammo's getting expensive. Yes, that's why I stocked up when I did. And U.S. manufacturing AK is dying. Correct. AK parts don't match like 98% like ARs do. No thanks. I agree with you, Uncle Guns. Totally. Trigger Man says, P. Fletch, Russia needs an answer to the Ukraine war. Maybe you have. Do you have a solution to the war
Yeah.
with Ukraine? P. Fletch, let
force
them
that
know.
criminal Zelensky to sign the peace deal and then let his countrymen throw him under the jail.
Yeah, I agree.
Simple,
Considering he
easy
used
to
to be
remember.
a comedian actor, like how did he end up in that position? I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
P. Fletch says, "Capitalism for the win." That's right.
It's true.
It's true.
Yeah.
Capitalism is the only thing that works. Yeah.
So I put it down there.
Oh, you did? I'm sorry. Here we go.
Yeah. So
Ooh.
that's 10 rounds. There are 8 that's a 3-inch circle at 100 yards. It's 8 rounds in the center or the one hole.
Mhm.
And those 2 it's 1 click right and then 1 click, a click back to center and then another click left to check. Then I was checking my scope adjustments. So it's a little bit more, the accuracy level is a little bit more than, most people.
That's really good, actually.
Yeah. And I with my AR, I'll hit I have hit a standing offhand shot after running
Mhm.
right at 500 yards. That's an IPSC size target. So basically a man's chest,
Mhm.
at 500 yards standing offhand. I hit first round hit. I've also hit at 670 yards from an exceptionally rickety position. First round hit at 670 with my AR.
Wow. You are very good. Yeah, I'm excited to see you. Are you going to show the competitions too when you do it?
Yeah, we'll be doing some of that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be exciting. That'd be fun to watch.
But it's just the difference in you don't have to leave it up there if you don't want to.
It's okay. It's okay. Until we're done with the subject, we're going to leave it there. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. But it's just, so when I talk about so my pistol drills, for example, this is where people it's so weird. You'll have people that go to the range and they think they're doing really good because they can put a bunch of shots in an area this big.
Mm-hmm.
I go and I start at 6 or 7 yards depending, and I will do so I put 1 inch. I don't have any here, but 1 inch, either inch and a half or 2 inch, what they call shooting C's that look just like that's a 3-inch one, but the ones that the next size down from that, I'll put those out at 7 yards and I'll shoot those with my pistol. And the idea is I'll load 6 rounds in my pistol and I will shoot them to, and I want all 6 at 7 yards in that 2 inches.
Oh, wow.
And then what I do is I move I put 6 in, and as I move across, I increase the speed.
Mm-hmm.
So at first it's like bang, 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 and the next will be bang, 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 and then bang, 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 and then and I'm trying to keep them all in that 2-inch circle, which is hard. And if it misses, it either needs to be like a really close miss where it's just like, man, it could be just could just been lazy, whatever. It either needs to be a really, really close miss, or I need to understand why I did it. Like I was going a little bit fast, or I got a little too fast and I didn't let the gun settle, or whatever. Like I need to understand why I made that bad shot. And then I'll move out to from 7 to 10 yards. And at 10 yards, I move up to the 3-inch disc, just like this one, except I'm shooting 9mm at it, which is a bigger projectile. And I'll do the same thing. 6 rounds in the gun, shoot those. I want all the rounds. And I keep doing that out to about 15 yards. And still, 3 inches is what my standard is. And then I move out to 20 yards and I want to put I do 6 or 8 rounds. Just I get lazy when I start counting when I get out that far. But at 20 yards, I want to hit all A-zone hits at 20 yards, which is about, I don't have anything, but it's, it's not big. It's not big. So
No, that's tiny. And like, what if you
and
stumbled
20
or
yards,
something, you know?
yeah, 20 yards is it's rough, you know. It's and that's I just practice that over and over, because I might, you know, in a match I might shoot a 3x3 piece of steel at 7 yards.
Mhm.
You know, and I'll have to do it while running or after having run or moving or whatever.
So then that, I guess that means you have to stay in shape too, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I've lost 40 pounds this year.
Oh, right on. Do you want to say how you did it? You want to talk about that? You want to talk about it on the next
I mean,
stream?
most of it was just decide. So, you know, I hurt myself. I did a match called Hard as Hell, and I hurt my knee and hip, and I couldn't really do a lot without really hurting my leg. And then and what would happen is I would start getting better, and I'd go to the gym and I'd start working out, and then I would hurt myself again. And then I'd have to take another 4 to 6 weeks off. And you know, every time you do that, you gain a little weight, you gain a little more weight. You know, I went from like 210 to 230, 230 to 240. And eventually I was at 240. When I came back from Alaska, I was 243. And I was like, all right, that's it. And you know, my hip and knee were healed. And so I just started, I'd go to the gym and I would do treadmill for half an hour. And then I would get, then I go do the weight machines. I didn't do, you know, I'm 55. I don't do gym bro workouts.
Sure.
So, you know, I go do the weight machines, and I had a routine that I did, and I would do that every day of the week and sometimes twice a day. And I didn't eat that much. I actually don't eat that much even though I gained all that weight. I don't actually eat that much.
No, it's the sitting.
It's not being able to move.
Yes, I know.
And, you know, I played golf a lot. That seemed to have been helpful, because I would, you know, like, you don't think about it, but even if you ride a cart, you know, walking out to your golf ball, walking back, you know, all over the place, you'll get 10,000 steps in a round of golf, no problem. So
I need to take up golf, is what you're telling me. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, golf, you know, so my, you know, and that's just, it just really, once you start losing, it's, you know, it's not super hard to keep losing, or at least for me, it wasn't like super hard to keep losing. I did try the pill form of trizepatide, but it didn't seem to do anything, so I stopped taking it. And I didn't like it. I just didn't like it. But
I don't trust that stuff. That stuff scares the crap out of me. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. I'm not really a medicine guy. But
I need to drop 20. I dropped the 10 that I'd put on from last year. I got real sick from mold again. So I had to go through that whole thing. So I got that 10 off. And then everybody's, just take Ozempic or something for the last 20. I'm like, number one, I don't have high blood sugar or anything. My insurance will not cover that stuff. Number two, I want to be able to digest my own food later on in life. Thank you very much. I don't trust that stuff. So I'm just going to keep doing it the good old fashioned way.
Yeah. So my wife has gone not like crazy, but she's like, she plays tennis 3 or 4 times a week. Matter of fact, as soon as I get done here, which I have to be here in the next few minutes,
that's fine.
I'm just going to go in, and we're going to grab the tennis rackets and go to the tennis club. And we won't actually play tennis. I think she's rented a ball machine, and so she's going to practice returns or something like that. But you know, she does tennis 3 or 4 days a week. She does P-Volve, which is kind of a workout place, and she does Orange Theory, and she'll work out. She'll work out 3 or 4 times a week. She's dropped probably 20 pounds. And you know, with her, it's different for men and women, right? So with her, after she had our second son 5 years ago, and yes, if you're doing math, that I had a kid at 50.
Nothing wrong with that,
right? That's I don't see
anything wrong with that.
Yeah, I mean, kind of proud of it, honestly. So
Congratulations.
But you know, my wife, with our first son, of course, that was 15 years ago. She had no problem. The weight just gone. The second one,
not so much.
Not so much.
I know.
And
been there.
Yeah, the second one, you know, our second, she also has, you know, she has a high risk for gestational diabetes, so that kind of plays into it and all that. And so basically, she just wasn't really. She didn't gain a ton of weight, but the weight she did gain, she just
Can't get it off. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. Your hormones are all messed up. It's all hormonal.
Yeah.
And it takes 2 years. Most people don't realize it takes 2 years for a woman's body to fully go through that. And if she's still breastfeeding like I was, no, it's longer.
Yeah, last year she made the decision that, hey, I was going to start working out, started eating, you know, and so she started eating, and we both, you know, I go in and out of keto pretty easily because I don't eat a ton of carbs anyway. But she, you know, she eats very few carbs. She's not like she's not doing keto or anything, but she just doesn't eat a ton of carbs. So her diet hasn't really changed that much, but it's
moving around.
Working out. Yeah, it's all the working out. It's all the tennis. It's, you know, we go on walks in the evenings when I'm not doing this, and so I fidget, like even right now, like I'm bound, you know, my knees.
My knee. That's what I'm doing. I do the same thing. Yeah.
You know, it's so it's I fidget a lot, so I was actually really surprised I gained the weight that I did, but then when I look back on it, it was kind of gonna happen just because I couldn't
move around,
right? Like, and so, but once I could, I could have started a little earlier, but you know, it's fine. And
it's okay. You're doing it now, you know?
Yeah. And there's, you know, it's funny because you start doing things like, you know, like I started riding my motorcycles instead of taking the car all the time, and just, you know, now, and I have sport bikes and small bikes, and so they require a lot more physical input than like a Harley or something. So I really, you know, that is, it's not a workout per se, but I'm not just sitting there in my car just rolling along, right? So I don't know. I think every little bit that you do is it. And I never even really was like, oh, you know, I want to drop 5 pounds this week, you know, or something like that. I was never that. I was just like, I have a goal, right? I set my original goal was I wanted to be 205, and I passed that. Now my goal is like 195. I'd like to be 195.
May I ask how tall you are?
I'm like 5'10".
Oh yeah, that's good weight for you.
Yeah.
What were you in your teen years? 175?
180, 185.
I was about to say, my old man who was born in 1928, who raised me, he did some boxing and stuff like that, and he said the older you get as a man, you want to be the closest to your weight when you were a teenager, senior year, first, you know, between 18 and 22, you want to be as close to that weight as you were possible because it's easier on your circulatory. So I would definitely say, yeah, you're on the right track for that, for sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy overall with it. So, but everybody's like, "Hey, you've lost so much weight." You can, and actually, they're right. You can look at the thumbnails I had from when I started 2 years ago versus today, and you can actually see a difference in my face. So that's good.
Yeah, I could tell from the first time I met you, like last year till now. Yeah, I totally remember because that's when Trippy and stuff was going on your show. Uncle Gunn says,
I
Ozempic.
like Trippy.
Yeah. You guys should do more stuff together. Ozempic and the others mimics effects of Gila monster venom. Oh yes, that's right. Gila monster venom. The FDA doesn't know exactly how
I think how it works.
I think, yeah.
I
Can't
don't know if
explain
that's
how it
true
does.
anymore, but
Glad human lab rats are lining up to test it. Yeah, he's right. That's true. I
I don't know
actually
if
have
they-
video on that.
I think that they and I don't keep up on this stuff, so I could be wrong, but the Ozempic came out as a diabetic and a antidepressant drug. So it's supposed to make crazy ladies not be crazy all the time.
Oh, that's cool.
And then
hopefully
it didn't
the
work. With that.
crazy-
Failed. Remember the Ozempic?
Yes, I do.
Be happy?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's supposed to make you happy, but it didn't really do that. I mean, it kind of did, but it did. I mean, it didn't actually succeed really the way they wanted it to. So but what it did do, it made them happy because they dropped a bunch of weight.
Yeah.
So,
Be leery of the government pushing anything saying this is your solution to all things,
Well,
and you get you a happy pill. Sure.
Yeah. It was an interesting. I was only interested because of the psychological aspects of that. Sunshine in a vial. Yeah.
Yep. Sunshine in a vial.
Yeah. It's supposed to be an antidepressant so that the likelihood of suicide was less.
Well, just get outside in the sunshine and sweat and don't eat everything under the sun. Stay away from processed foods and you'll be doing just fine. I mean, I gave up soda in my early 20s and I never looked back. And like, if you try to get me to drink all that weird stuff, I'm just like, oh my God, I can taste every chemical in the world in this thing. I don't know how people can drink this crap anymore. It doesn't even taste normal. Like I'm doing a whole very little carb thing these days. So I shall be coming around to in the next probably 3 to 4 weeks. You'll be seeing a big difference again. So, and I'm doing a detox from the mold out of my blood and all that crap. So it's not easy.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like it when drug companies put that they don't know how something works when it has to do with psychological drugs. Now I can understand, like I understand, like with tirzepatide and the whatever that is, Ozempic and whatever, all these semaglutides. I understand. We understand how that works through the diabetic system and how how it makes the body react. It's the mind part that bothered me the whole time about that stuff is they never actually were honest about that they were selling this drug to be an antidepressant, but it never acted as an antidepressant. Like that was something that just wasn't part of what it did.
Interesting.
I mean, I guess it kind of does because it balances out your blood sugar and stuff, and it regulates something. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but it always annoys me when they start talking about how it's supposed to help your brain, right?
Yeah.
And then they say, "Well, we don't know how it works." We just
yeah, they're not supposed to be pushing products
work,
on
right?
people without knowing how things work. But that kind of goes along with some of those vaccines too, though, now doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm more okay with them saying that hey, this works for diabetics and for people who want to lose weight because it regulates these specific whatever, right? I'm okay. Okay, that's good. Science, fine, good with that. It's the mental stuff that I was really annoyed with them because it never did any of the things that they said it did. It's just, I mean, it did regulate blood sugar. I mean, I guess if your problem is that your blood sugar is all over the place, then sure, then it made you less depressed. It made you less whatever.
Yes.
If that was the case, then sure, but why not just say that? Right? Or why not just say, hey, it regulates your, I guess you can't charge a bunch of money for it if all it does is regulate your blood sugar.
Pretty much. And, with hopefully all the transparency with RFK will happen with some of that stuff. So we'll see. You know,
Yeah, I
the
don't.
ball's rolling, but we'll see. You know, I'm kind of a hard nut to crack and to sell things to. I've seen too
Our
much,
medical,
you know?
and I could do a whole show just on our the way our drug system works. Like other countries, for example, you know, they won't sell stuff that we buy.
That's right.
And stuff that they sell we can't get because it's not profitable for somebody, or the FDA doesn't have enough tests or whatever. And it's very strange, right?
Yep. That goes like with what Trigger Man is saying, Americans eat too much sugar. Yes, we do. And it's also in everything, and it's reclassified and relabeled as other things than what it really is, which helps the whole addiction issue also.
Mm-hmm.
So people have to get back to the fundamentals of meat, vegetables, and some type of a healthy starch, honestly. Rice, you know, some type of a bean, or einkorn bread or something. Like I used to bake bread. I'm getting back into that too, because I'm not allowed to have normal pasta in America anymore. So fun being Mediterranean and pasta.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Parrots, fast food has sugar in it. I mean, there's literally sugar in
Everything.
McDonald's hamburgers.
There is.
Yeah.
If you got ketchup in Europe, it's not sweet. It's full of sugar in America.
Yeah,
the bread has sugar. Everything has sugar.
Not mustard.
No, not mustard.
That's why I eat mustard.
Yes. Grey Poupon. Remember the old Grey Poupon commercials? It's Grey Poupon.
Yeah. So it's just an interesting thing, right? Like I don't know. Bread and fast foods full of sugar. You know, you're better off, honestly, eating McDonald's land fries, I think, than McDonald's land hamburgers.
Now, if you see how they make the fries, you might change your mind, sir. It's pretty bad. It's bad.
Nothing lives in 250-degree grease.
No, it doesn't. And we don't even. They used to cook all of our French fries in American tallow. They don't do that anymore either.
Steak and Shake does.
Oh, they do? Steak and Shake? Is there a Steak and Shake in Texas? I don't know. I don't think I've seen one. I think I've seen them in California.
Has a big, huge publicity campaign here in Nashville area right now about their fries fried in tallow.
Oh, you're where I want to be. You're in Tennessee.
I am in Tennessee.
That's where I wanted to go.
Yeah, Tennessee's where it's at.
Dude, I know. That's where I wanted to go. You have better climate and everything.
Yeah. We have it's interesting. I use a lot of fat in my food. Like I use the best thing ever is like duck fat. And
yep. Mm-hmm.
I use Wagyu tallow.
Same.
So I don't understand. Yeah, I mean, I use real butter. Like we don't have any margarine in the house at all. Like no.
Dude, I don't see how anybody would be eating margarine in 2026. Honestly,
there are people who still believe it's healthier for them.
Oh,
yeah.
It's a forever chemical. It goes into your fat and never gets out. Good luck with that. My grandmother used to cook with that because they're from the Depression, you know. Yeah. And so when I got older,
lard, like literal lard. You remember? So it's interesting.
I told her stop doing that.
Yeah, my grandmother, who lived to be 104 years old,
nice,
ate bacon and cooked with lard right up until the point she couldn't cook anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And like literal lard, like the stuff that people tell you is just like gonna kill you and stuff. And everything. But you know, it's weird that like all the stuff that they say is good for us, you have to refrigerate it. It has an expiration date because it goes bad after a certain date.
Yep.
Lard doesn't have an expiration date.
Nope.
Like you can leave that stuff in your cupboard for 10 years and come back and just fry it right up.
Ghee also has a long shelf life, and you can make that at home.
Yeah, I just don't understand. You know, it's like we had all of this stuff, right? And there's a guy who, and I'm going down really weird rabbit trails here, but there's a guy who I used to watch on YouTube. I think he quit making videos, but he would look at Depression era food, and like it was good food, and like they didn't use a lot of refrigeration. Like a lot of it would
No.
last for a long time.
Yeah, people
And-
didn't have all refrigerators, and if they did, they had to put big blocks of ice in there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For a
most
spring
people don't
house.
know that. Yeah.
And it's just it's very interesting to me how disposable the society has become with.
I agree.
Now some of it is. I mean, look. I mean, obviously, some things are better.
Meh. That's
Maybe.
kind of meh. That's kind of an opinion, right? All the basics have never changed.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that. Well, I do think that it's that people are having a hard time with digestion and that sort of
Yes.
thing because we eat way too many vegetables. We eat way too many too much bread. We eat things that were supposed to be seasonal. You weren't supposed to be able to get green beans in the middle of winter.
Correct.
And yet I can do that. Right. And so we just eat, and the bread thing is just crazy. And the
Well,
amount of sugar we eat.
if you eat bread in Europe, because they're not allowed to use all the GMOs, a couple streams ago, I did a whole thing on food because I know a lot about food. And I make my own ferments. I can make my own bread. I can make my own fermented mayo if you want it. Like I can cook. Okay. And I was doing a whole thing on that. And most people don't realize that the bread is so hybridized today. It's a double protein. It used to be a single. What that means is when it hits the gut, it perforates the gut and it causes irritation to the gut. And eventually, after it breaks through the lining, it goes into the bloodstream, which is why you're seeing all these extra food allergies and autoimmune diseases and all of those things, because it's creating that, because it's constantly disruption. So if you were to go back to traditional wheats like einkorn, aramith, and there's like two others, I can't think of them what they are right now. Those have naturally 8 grams of natural protein already in them. It's a single protein. You won't get fat at all. That's why if you go to Italy, you can eat all the pasta that you want. You can do all those things because they're still on a normal food diet, whereas we're all convenient foods and instant gratification, and it's really freaking annoying. So I'm weird, I know. I'm strange.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that I don't know. I think it's very interesting that the way that we look at food now is very skewed. I can, and this is actually something my wife thinks this is insane. I can eat basically the same thing every day. I don't need the variety. I don't need something. Now I like it, right? Like, I mean, I enjoy something, a little change, but get up every day and eat the same breakfast. I could go to bed every night having eaten the same dinner or a version of the same dinner. I don't need the variety. And I think what we do is we create a situation where we become very picky and we become very,
Yeah, probably. That sounds about right, because we've got all these choices and it's like, oh, I want this now. And, oh, I want that now. And,
and you overeat because you want some of all of it. Right.
Yeah. So. And your stomach is only the size of your palm of your hand. So, you eat more than this, you're eating too much, really. And then you make your stomach get bigger. So, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I've got to go. Play tennis with my wife.
Figured.
So, yeah, I mean, the phone's been kind of beeping. But that's
well, thank you for showing up and going so your wife isn't upset. And thank you for stopping by. We're going to do this again.
Sure.
More thoroughly. This was completely unplanned. So, I'm glad to have you. You're an interesting fellow.
You've got me on Discord, so you can just message me and tell me, what works, what kind of timeline we need to be on and all of that.
Yeah. So. Yeah. And then we'll talk behind the scenes about your life so I can have proper questions and, we'll go somewhere with it. And then I'll plug your stuff, honey, because I'm good at that. That's what we'll do. All right. Well, you enjoy your
cast can come on the show.
Sure.
Whenever I have guests or whatever. I don't know when he's around, so I don't go looking for him or anything.
Okay. Well, he's watching. He's heard, I'm sure. And if not, then I will definitely make sure that he knows.
Cool. All right. Well, have a great rest of your night.
You too, honey.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, that was fun. Did everybody enjoy that? That was fun. I hope you guys enjoyed that and a little bit of gun talk and you know, the little chatter back and forth about stuff. I like Grid, and he's got some really interesting things, and he's an interesting man. So, thank you, Grid, for our. Yeah, Trippy says, "Yep, I'm here." He heard it. So thank you so much for that. And here we're going to continue on the last 20 minutes of the stream. Let's listen to this one lady's take on being trafficked. Exposing the elite's unthinkable sadistic rituals. Now, she's got a full interview, but I just wanted to this goes with the rest of what we were doing. Gives you a little bit of an insight as to what they do, how they do it a little bit. And then we'll move on to the Disney issues and people getting smacked around and smashed or whatever happened.
Culture among some of the nobility. I don't want.
Let me fix that.
There's a culture.
There we go.
Among some of the nobility. I don't want to, you know, it's never everybody, you know, it's a few people, but they make such a negative impact that there's a few of those people in a culture where child abuse is normalized and where extreme things happen. And so there were certain very sadistic members of the nobility. And in those first years, sometimes I was also given to those people. So I was not involved in any type of religious ritual in the first years. And that's, I think, primarily because that minister who started out as a butcher and was basically became.
We were, Paro, we were talking last night, and I was saying I wanted to do an interview and stuff with him. And he mistook thinking that I wanted to do it tonight, and I wasn't ready. It's okay, though. Not a big deal. Just a slight adjustment.
Came from the middle class and worked his way up, was himself not a believing Satanist at all. But at age 9, so now 1972, there was the Bilderberg meeting in Belgium, and that was great for the people in the network, or I call it a club at the time, you know, it was a club with levels. So the children were sort of the ultimate level and were mostly used for blackmail. But then there were powerful people with very sadistic desires that were then also taken care of, you know, and it linked to the royalty as well. So meaning the nobility, certain people in the nobility. So the culture was one where, yeah, really child abuse is normalized and anything goes. So it's similar to the Satanists. They do the same things. But it wasn't, I didn't feel that there was any, or I didn't experience anything religious up until when I was 9. And there was a ritual that was set up to please one of the people that was coming to Belgium for the Bilderberg meeting. And so for this American billionaire, they staged.
American billionaire. See? The delicacies. The things that are considered atrocities are also delicacies to those with too much access and too much money and way too many things at their disposal that should not be. And here we are. And she's absolutely correct. They are purposely trying to normalize the abuse and the trafficking of children. I'm trying to be very TOS right now. I can't speak as frankly as I would. Maybe I should start also dual streaming. I don't know. Can I say more of what I want on Kick? Maybe I'll start doing that for those things. But until then, I'm going to be doing TOS. So, which is kind of goes back to the whole, you know, predators aren't afraid of what's going on anymore. And that shouldn't be an issue. There should be a wood chipper on every street corner at this point. Thank you.
A satanic ritual. And that had the elements of Satanism with everybody wearing black robes and, you know, and hoods. And it was it took place in below a cathedral, in the basement of a cathedral. It seemed.
I could be wrong, but she looks very kind of almost American Indian, doesn't she? This is very hard for her to talk about. I feel bad for this lady. me get my 4 eyes on.
That was sort of the reverse of what was happening upstairs. And so there wasn't a very old altar, a black altar, and there was a pentagram, and there were all the elements were there. And 2 children were given to this billionaire, and there was a little boy with me.
Horrible.
That I was 9 and he was 7, and he was a little bit slow. He was a little bit mentally handicapped, and so I'm sorry. I felt very protective of him, and he was killed
in front of you.
Yes, I was. In fact, there were 2 children. One was to be sacrificed, and the other one was to be raped by that billionaire, by the special guest. And so I was raped.
No TOS on that
but
word,
I was
huh?
also forced to watch.
Ugh, that poor baby.
I'm so sorry you went through that. I mean, I can't even imagine what that must have felt like for a 9-year-old girl.
Yeah.
I wanted you guys to see, in contrast of, we want to talk about Diddy parties. We want to make jokes about all that stuff. But this is the reality that's going on. Your politicians are participating in it. All of your officials your main officials are participating in this type of shit. This is the contrast. This is the part of the reality that people don't actually want to go into.
It's something I can't, it's just, I felt so protective of that little boy. So it was so complex for me because I already knew him from the network. I already felt so protective because his innocence was just shining through. And at that time, I felt so much that my innocence was lost. And I felt so old compared to him. And I loved his innocence, and I wanted to protect him. And also because he was special, that maybe it was so pitiful because he was crying so hard. So there was nothing to...
I don't believe she goes into exactly where this happened, because if she was to do that, it would start, locations,
To dampen, or to minimize what was happening in front of me. And it's just, a lot of very horrible things happened, but I just have... It's been so hard.
It's really hard for those of us who have empathy or compassion to imagine that not just one person, but a group of people can get together
and do this.
When do they even first say to one another, we're going to do this? What do you think? Because most people would scream and call the police or something. How do they even... I don't even know where to start with this. It's so horrifying.
Yeah. And that's the special club. So the Minister of National Defense, first there's the corruption and the greed, and then beyond that, there's, the people who didn't say no when they were confronted with a 6-year-old child.
Mm-hmm.
They were already triaged by
just babies,
the minister, just to make sure that they were not going to say no, because I never had anybody saying no, and I was always stunned that they were going to not say, my goodness, this is a little girl, this is a child, I'm not doing this. So they were clearly pedophiles. And in the system, to be a pedophile, you have to be very cut off, right? You can't, nobody healthy would think that a child would be used for sex. That is completely crazy. That is really sick
and disgusting.
So there it begins. That requires you to be completely sick. And then that sickness.
I think she said at that time it was someplace in Europe. I don't recall her actually giving the location. Did you guys catch that? I don't recall her saying in the United States.
Those, in my experience, those who needed the power, they were pulled into this system, which then becomes completely psychopathic at the top levels. Anyway.
Where were your parents in this?
So, as I said, my mother was mentally ill.
Yeah.
My stepfather was extremely absent, and it's in my book. I mean, I tried to tell him once when I was a child, and then he didn't believe me.
where were they getting hold of you? The elites.
So my mother actually had a contact person who didn't live so far. She was a countess. She was a part of Opus Dei in the group, and the religious
Opus
group.
Dei.
And so the certain tier of Opus Dei was then involved in this network. So was, when we're talking about the minister, he was a Freemason, and then a certain tier of the Freemasons were also involved in this network. And I think a lot of the people that were being brought in came through the Masons or some club, some secret society that already was secret, and where there already were a lot of promises made never to speak and everything. So that by the time, they were triaged, right? How much do you want it is the question, right? How much do you want the power? And whatever it is that when you lack the self-esteem, but you want the power, it's not just ambition, because ambition is connected to the self and aligned with everything you are and what you want from life. But there it is sheer ambition because you're lacking the self-esteem.
You notice she said her mom was a countess. That means they already had of nobility and access. She already knew people, which is why she said she knew people, because she's a countess. So you're also noticing, as I've been noticing, there's an awful lot of connection to being Masons. The word is, which maybe we'll go down a rabbit hole one of these days, that Masons are also Luciferians. Now, some Masons would say no, other Masons say yes, which also ties into Mormons, by the way. A lot of Mormons, when they go higher up into the temples, they become Masons.
Because of previous trauma. So you're running away from your own trauma, from your own shadows, by climbing the ladder. And this is what was offered. The higher you, the more you want it, that's to say, the sicker you are, the more you don't have a sense of self, the more you're not connected to yourself. It begins with pedophilia, but that's already really extreme. It's extremely common. So it's also really extreme in nature. Like to think that,
tragedies, unfortunately.
See a child as a sex object is crazy. All these men treated me as if I was a 6-year-old prostitute. And I knew that I wasn't. I knew that much.
Did you know this was wrong?
I did the first years, but then this American billionaire, through extraordinary circumstances that really...
American billionaire, extraordinary circumstances. Okay. Read his comment first. Pulitch says, the Masons require you believe in a God. They never state the God that they are talking about. No, that's absolutely correct. Yes, I do know that. But the higher up you go, there's specific things that you need to do, which maybe we'll go down that rabbit hole. Maybe not. I don't want people showing up at my door in the middle of the night. Okay. So I want to also be careful that the little hats don't show up at my front door. Alrighty.
Or beyond me, have nothing to do with me, really, then took an interest in me.
Yes, I have.
And
heard
that then
of
landed
the
me
Skull and the
in
Bones.
what I
Why
call the
you wanna
global
go down that
network,
rabbit hole?
which was
Tell
what
me.
the Belgians were very hard trying to get connected to these people, to do
Oh,
business
she's
with them and everything.
French.
And then the children, of course, the gift of these two children was in that system, really the secret currency.
See? And then you wonder why they don't want to close your borders down. Does anybody know that, whoever's watching me, that we have the largest trafficking here? Anywhere in the world, bar none. Supply and demand, baby. And then you wonder why they don't want to shut the borders down. Okay. School of thought. I failed the sword challenge that the dude almost got said sword shoved up his ass and turned sideways. Yes, he almost did, huh? Yes. All right. Well, that just depressed the living crap out of me and angered me to no end. I don't want to hear about babies getting hurt. I don't want to hear about babies getting nothing. Okay. So let's also go to the Disney ride thing, because, well, we may as well finish on a bang. You know what I mean? Let's just finish on a bang. Yeah, remember I said if you ever want to watch me lose my shit, you just start fucking around with kids, and you're gonna fuck around and find out with me. So,
and thrilling
let's
rides,
see.
there are dark moments that Disney rarely talks about.
The death of a was never an easy story to tell. A family on a Disney World vacation losing their tragic alligator attack.
From ride malfunctions to human error and unfortunate accidents.
Oh shit.
Some guests have lost their lives inside the parks.
And it is here where the crash occurs.
These stories are not just urban legends, they're real.
Oh
they're
shit,
chilling.
did you see that? Did you guys see that person get flopped off of that ride and get bounced off of that other object below it? Holy shit.
In this video, we explore the Disney rides that have claimed lives, revealing the hidden dangers behind the fantasy.
Oh my god!
Deadly.
Does this make you all want to reconsider riding rides? Kind of makes me reconsider riding rides. Yeah.
Disney, the tragic alligator attack that shook a family's vacation. What seemed like a peaceful family vacation at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort turned into a nightmare no one saw coming. In June of 2016, the Graves family was enjoying a peaceful vacation at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort, nestled by Bay Lake. As the sun began to set, the parents relaxed near the water, while their children, 9-year-old Ella and 2-year-old Christian, played nearby. Out of nowhere, a wild alligator emerged from the lake and dragged young Christian into the water. Panicked, the parents rushed to save their son, but it was too late. Despite immediate rescue attempts, Christian's body was found the next day.
Hold on, I'm trying to find a
The
different
family was
view.
left devastated. Their
There we
dream
go.
vacation shattered in an instant. Disney, in the aftermath of the attack, claimed it had no control over the wild alligators that roamed the property. Shockingly, there had been no warning signs in the area at the time of the attack. Only after Christian's death did Disney post signs saying, "No swimming and beware of alligator." This tragic incident is just one of many deaths.
The sign said, "Don't be swimming in there. Don't be playing around in the water." Now you see why I say they don't look too bright. Leaving your little kids there where there could be alligators in the water. Were parents drinking? I don't know. That also makes me annoyed. P. Fledge says, those clips are why I stay home, save my money, get stoned instead of wasting it on a PDF mouse.
It's tied to Disney parks. Since opening in 1955, Disneyland has officially recorded at least 55 deaths, not counting incidents like alligator attacks or mysterious diseases
see
like
all that
brain-eating
green
amoebas.
algae on that
Some
poor
even
alligator?
believe the real death toll could be much higher. Yet Disney often distances itself from responsibility, attributing these tragedies to isolated accidents. Despite these dark moments, millions...
Well, there's a certain amount of risk that goes with everything, right? So if you were a police officer, there's only so much encounters with people before somebody gets hurt on your watch, okay? Same thing with owning a resort or any type of a facility or a business. The numbers, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Okay, that's always how it is. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when this accident or liability is going to occur, which is why they get insurance and all of that nonsense. So let's hear more.
Millions still flock to Disney, drawn by the magic that sometimes hides the darker truths lurking beneath. It's time for the topic of the day. In South Carolina, USA, a Disney-themed ride malfunctioned, turning a fun day into a nightmare. Visitors were left hanging literally as a technical failure brought the ride to a sudden stop. Panic set in, and lives were at risk. Theme park thrills can turn terrifying fast. What are your thoughts? Comment below. Mission: Space Tragedy. The deadly ride that was too intense for some guests. A thrilling ride to Mars turned tragic when deadly accidents on Disney's Mission. Space claimed the lives of innocent guests. When Disneyland launched the Mission Space Ride, it promised an out-of-this-world experience,
Okay, so this is a
simulating a thrilling
simulation.
trip to Mars. Using a powerful centrifuge, the ride created a sense of weightlessness and intense G-forces, mimicking the feeling of space travel. However, the ride's intensity proved to be too much for many guests. In its early years, ambulances had to be called nearly 200 times to treat riders who fainted, experienced chest pain, or had difficulty breathing. In 2005, tragedy struck when a 4-year-old boy, who met the height requirement, was allowed to ride despite having an undiagnosed heart condition. After the ride
Oh no, an undiagnosed heart condition on a little guy.
ended, he passed away.
Oh.
Although Disney wasn't held responsible since they had
I'm very sorry for the parents on that one and that poor little guy.
posted warnings about heart issues, the loss was devastating for the boy's family. The incident cast a dark shadow over the ride's reputation. Then, in 2006, another death occurred on the same ride. This time, a woman lost her life after experiencing complications from the intense ride. These tragedies finally prompted Disney to take action. Introducing
There must be pressure in there because you see her face. It's like it's almost like the NASA training. Hell no, everybody cannot handle that stuff.
a less intense version
Makes
of
me
Mission
wonder what the,
Space, which removed the centrifuge.
speed
The ride
was
was
on
made
it.
more accessible, but for many, the damage had already been done. What started as an innovative and exciting attraction became a tragic reminder of the risks that sometimes accompany the pursuit of thrill in theme parks. River Country. Tragedy, the water park that hid a deadly secret. What was once a beloved water park became the site of a horrifying death caused by a deadly amoeba. Disney's River Country, the company's first water park, opened in the
Rides, Triggerman says rides get him sick. Do boat rides also, do you get like motion sickness on boat rides and stuff?
1970s beside Bay Lake, quickly becoming a popular attraction. It featured a man-made lagoon that pulled water directly from the lake through filtration systems. However, the park's connection to the lake would soon lead to a tragedy. In 1980, an 11-year-old boy visited the park, but after riding the water slide, he tragically passed away. The cause was horrifying. The boy had contracted a rare brain-eating amoeba that entered his nose while in the water. This deadly microorganism, which thrives in warm fresh water, destroyed the boy's
Your
nervous
nose.
system within days.
Oh, for the love of all things that are holy, just don't go in water in these unknown places. Or so, this is making me paranoid. He says sometimes if the waves are bad, yeah. You know, I've never had motion sickness from being on a boat or anything. Knock on wood, at least so far.
It was discovered that Bay Lake, where River Country sourced its water, was full of these dangerous amoebas, and the filtration system wasn't equipped to eliminate them. Disney's response was chilling. They claimed such amoebas were common in natural lakes during the summer, and they weren't responsible for the tragedy. Despite this horrifying incident, River Country continued to operate for years. Over time, rumors of more deaths circulated, but no official confirmations ever came. In 2001, without any public explanation, Disney shut down the park for good. Today, River Country stands abandoned, a haunting reminder of the dark secret that once lay beneath the surface. The park, once a symbol of fun, now serves as an eerie testament to the dangers that lurked in its waters. The tragic death of Debbie Stone, Disneyland's most haunted incident.
Oh my gosh, I'm getting paranoid now watching this stuff. The rides flopping off, amoebas in the water, eat your brains like a zombie. Brains, feed me more brains. Gosh, help us. All right, no, thank you. P. Fledge says my idea of a good time is sitting uprange in a desert, and now you know why I love the desert. Have you ever lived in the desert? I have lived in the desert. Okay, it's not as good as you think it is. And if you want your skin to look all dried out and crackly like the scorched earth, then sure, you can go set up camp over there if you want. But me and my ass is going to go where there's humidity. Thank you very much. Everything's dead, P. Fletch. It's dead. The scorched earth is splitting. There's nothing good about the desert. I'm sorry. Unless you're looking to bury bodies over there. I mean, then maybe.
A dream job at Disneyland turned into tragedy, and some believe Debbie Stone's ghost still
I lived a
haunts
couple
the
of
park.
years.
In 1970,
P. Fletch, I lived a couple of years after my dad took up church again and was pastoring a church. I had to move up there with them. Okay. I was stuck in the desert, and I'm a California, preferably beach girl. Thank you very much. And there's no water. There's no place to go. There's nothing to do. Your hair always looks horrible. Flat hair. You're always getting wind blown to death. No, thank you. And there's a lot of riffraff that lives up in the desert too. So I'm good.
74, 18-year-old Debbie Stone had just started college and landed her dream summer job as a hostess at Disneyland.
You can love it.
Assigned to
It's fine.
America Sings, a rotating theater attraction with 6 stages, Debbie's role was to greet guests at the beginning of the show and bid them farewell at the end. She was excited about her new job and life.
Okay, what desert were you living in? Tell me. Tell me which desert. Because I'm wondering if your idea and my idea of a desert is different. Tell me. I'm waiting. He says he's a fan of bikinis too. Which desert, P. Fletch? Is it Arizona? What is it? I'm waiting. Okay, I'm gonna turn my video on while I'm waiting for you to type. He might be stoned. Maybe he can't type right now. El Cajon. Oh, that's California. What the hell were you? The hell were you doing in California in the desert over there?
Even sharing joyful
Were you chasing around the mamacitas and the little honeys out there?
news with her parents just before her evening shift on July 8th. She called them to announce that she had fallen in love and wanted their blessing to get engaged. But that night, her life would be tragically cut short. As Debbie said her goodbyes to the audience, the rotating platforms began to shift. Then, a blood-curdling scream echoed through the hall. Guests initially thought it was part of the show, but as 20 minutes passed without Debbie's return, staff grew concerned. When they investigated, they discovered Debbie's lifeless body crushed between 2 moving walls. The accident shocked Disneyland and led to immediate...
Now, P. Fletch, El Cajon is like a valley area. It's part of the San Diego, Orange County area. I lived up in the high desert. So I don't think it's quite as brutal in El Cajon as it is up in the high desert. So, which, high desert would be like, you start going from there, you could start going towards Death Valley, the famous Death Valley and all that stuff. So, yes, if it got to be 125 degrees on a good day in good old El Cajon, then maybe I'll consider it a desert. But until then, I don't know. I can't even remember what it was like when I went cruising through there anymore.
Changes in the attraction's safety protocols, but the memory of that fateful night still lingers. Over the years, cast members and guests alike have reported eerie encounters with Debbie's ghost, hearing her voice or seeing her apparition near the theater. Her tragic death remains one of the most chilling stories in Disneyland's history, casting a shadow over the park's magical reputation. Tragic monorail collision. The death of Austin Wenenberg at Disney World. Late night shift at Disney World turns fatal when a deadly monorail collision claims the life of a young conductor. In 2009, 21-year-old Austin Wenenberg was working as a monorail conductor at Florida's Walt Disney World. Excited to graduate college soon, Austin loved his job, even if it meant late night shifts. Disney World, massive in scale, operates its own monorail system with 3 routes, 1 to Epcot and 2 within the Magic Kingdom.
How many here in the chat have been to Walt Disney World? I have been to Walt Disney World in Florida. I have, yes. Has anybody else? It's extremely expensive. And a million years ago, it was extremely expensive. P. Fletch says, all I needed was Marlin Model 60, a Honda 300 ATV, and a few extra packs of smokes. Gosh, you might. Trigger Man says, yes. Which kingdom did you go to? All of them? And did you like it? Let me know.
The night of September 5th, Austin was operating the Purple Train during the park's final transport run, helping the last guests return to their hotels around 2 a.m. Meanwhile, another conductor was operating the Pink Train, which had received permission from the control center to move into the parking area. To do this, the Pink Train needed to reverse and switch tracks, but a simple oversight occurred. The control panel operator forgot to switch the tracks. As a result, the Pink Train continued on its usual route, heading straight toward Austin's Purple Train, which still had 6 passengers on board. Austin was the only one who saw the impending disaster. He slammed on the brakes and attempted to reverse, but it was too late. The two trains collided. The passengers survived, though shaken, but Austin was tragically crushed in the operator's cabin and died instantly. Investigations revealed that the dispatcher had failed to properly switch the tracks. OSHA fined Disney $44,000 for safety violations, but many questioned whether this was enough to make up for the life lost in such a preventable accident. Tragic accident on Christmas Eve. The fatal incident at Disneyland's sailing ship Columbia. Meant to be a magical holiday at Disneyland. Tragedy strikes when a fatal accident claims the lives of a family. On December 24th, 1998, Christmas Eve, the Luan Phi Dawson and Lu Thay Vuong families were enjoying a holiday trip to Disneyland, looking forward to a scenic tour aboard the sailing ship Columbia, a replica ship known for its beautiful rides around the park. However,
when the
magic
weather
quickly
starts
turned to
heating
tragedy.
up,
As the ship docked, a critical failure occurred.
cold
The
over
mooring
here.
rope snapped, sending a heavy metal plate flying into the air. The plate struck Luan Phi Dawson and Lu Thay
Magic
Vuong
Kingdom.
directly in the head,
I went to
right
the
in
Magic
front of their
Kingdom
son
too.
and grandson.
Fun.
The scene was chaotic as panic spread. Both victims were rushed to the hospital, but while Vuong regained consciousness, her husband Dawson tragically did not survive. Vuong endured multiple surgeries and almost a year of rehabilitation to recover from the severe injuries. The family sued.
Yes. What video are you reacting to now? Well, I started off on the Smex cult of the industry, to which I had a guest on Grid 1, which went fantastic. We will be doing more in the future. And then I'm closing shop with something fun and light as opposed to groiping, molesting, and other criminal activity. I figured we would end on something a little less, serial.
Disneyland and won a $25 million settlement, but no amount of money could bring back the lost lives and forever altered futures. Investigations revealed
If
severe
you're
safety
lurking
issues.
about,
The mooring
remember
ropes
to
were made
hit
from
the
the wrong
like and
material, the ship
subscribe.
was in a
There
state
will
of
be more.
disrepair, and the docking process had been mishandled by staff. Despite the horror, Disneyland carried on as if nothing had happened. The sailing ship Columbia was quietly closed with a sign reading, "Under construction," hiding the grim reality from the public and continuing the park's operations as usual. Tragic disaster on Big Thunder Mountain. A roller.
Okay, I have a little insider information. Just a little tiny skosh bit of a one. Now, when I first started working, and I was an office bimbo, yes, I said office bimbo, I was doing a temp agency to get my foot into the door because you can get more work that way when you need money while you're still looking for a permanent gig. Okay. And, believe it or not, Disney's always hiring in different fractions, whether it's in the offices or in the park, or there's all kinds of things going on over there in Southern California to get hired for over there. And one day they shipped us all off over to one of their offices. And I was inside and I could see some models hanging out in different parts of the office. And they're listening to different people. And I can't even remember how long. It's been so long. I can't even remember what I was doing there. But obviously answering phones and doing other stupid nonsense. But I remember talking to some of the developers there. Because I'm one of those people. If a developer or somebody is around, I am going to strike a conversation with you. And as they were talking about how Disney wasn't paying any of the people who were building the rides for the new park, the newer park, like California Adventure that they had added on. I think they added that on in 2002 or something. And this was a while after, but they weren't paying them, and they had started filing bankruptcies on. Please don't come back after me, Disney. They will come back. They were filing bankruptcies and not paying the guys who built, because they're independent contractors, 1040s, and so they were not paying those guys, and they were just getting free rides. And so if that has anything to do with it, maybe, who knows?
Roller coaster ride ends in death. A relaxing ride at Disneyland turned deadly when a mechanical failure caused a fatal crash on Big Thunder Mountain. In September 2003, best friends Marcelo Torres and Vicente Gutierrez, both 22, visited Disneyland for a fun day out with two other friends. After enjoying a series of thrill rides, they decided to take a break and relax on the more family-friendly Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. Marcelo and Vicente sat in the front car, right behind the decorative engine. But midway through the ride, they heard strange noises coming from the train. Without warning, the locomotive detached, slammed into the tunnel ceiling, and crashed onto Marcelo's car. Marcelo was trapped under the wreckage, unable to escape. Vicente blacked out from the impact, while other passengers were injured. Marcelo, unfortunately, died instantly. Investigations later revealed troubling details about the incident. Mechanics had reported issues with Big Thunder Mountain weeks before the accident, and on the day of the crash, warning lights had appeared on the control panel. However, employees hesitated to shut the ride down, fearing repercussions from management. Disneyland admitted fault and compensated Marcelo's family, but his tragic death exposed the dangers of cost-cutting and negligence within the park's operations. The incident served as a stark reminder of the consequences that can arise when safety protocols are ignored for the sake of efficiency and profits. Horror in
Now, as much as this park is running all the time, I mean, even though they're very tragic, even though it's horrible, remember, I started off by saying it's a numbers game. At some point, you're going to encounter it no matter what you do. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. That's how even all insurance companies look at it. There's always a risk, and that risk always has a possibility, and this has a high risk to it, you know. But from working in the park and behind the scenes, I don't ever remember a time where they weren't being pretty on top of checking out the rides. But, you know, things change, don't they?
In the tunnels, the Matterhorn tragedy. What began as a thrilling roller coaster ride ended in a gruesome scene that left Disneyland guests frozen in fear. On January 3, 1984, 48-year-old Dolly Young visited Disneyland with friends, eager to enjoy the park's classic attractions. Around lunchtime, they decided to ride the Matterhorn bobsleds, a fast-paced coaster that races through icy tunnels and sharp turns at over 43 kilometers per hour. Dolly rode alone in her seat. Staff checked the restraints before takeoff as usual, but just moments into the ride, something went terribly wrong. Guests began hearing screams terrified, not thrilled. The ride halted suddenly. One man riding with his two daughters clutched them tightly and warned them not to open their eyes. On the adjacent track, the horrifying truth was revealed. Dolly's lifeless, headless body lay on the tracks. Her seat restraint was later found still buckled on the neighboring seat. While no one knows exactly what happened, many suspect she may have unfastened it or switched seats during the ride. But nothing was confirmed. Disturbingly, Disneyland reopened the Matterhorn the very next day using the same bobsled car involved in the accident. Even more chilling, this wasn't the Matterhorn's first fatality. In 1964, 15-year-old Mark Maples fell from the ride and later died of his injuries. In both cases, Disneyland placed the blame squarely on the victims, claiming they had ignored safety procedures. The Matterhorn may look like a fun, snowy mountain from the outside, but inside its tunnels, it's haunted by a history of tragedy that Disney rarely acknowledges. A ride that never ended. Magical Family Vacation turns into a living nightmare that haunts the Zuckers for nearly a decade. In September 2000, the Zucker family visited Disneyland for what was...
I mean, those are kind of a good amount of stretch of time in between those accidents, but that's horrible. Somebody lost their head like that. You know, I went on a, I guess you'd call it like a date. I guess it was like a date, but it was a friend that I'd known like a long time. Anyways, he was 7 feet tall. He might have been 7'1", and we were going on the rides. And he's like, I can feel stuff whizzing by my head. And then he would crouch down. He was stuck so far out of the top of all of those rides. It was funny. But now I'm thinking, after watching this could have very well easily happened. He was so fucking tall in those rides. And this one time we were on Space Mountain and he's like, Star, I can feel it by my shoulders. And so I was just laughing my ass off at the time. But yeah. I also remember my Uncle Floyd, he had to grab me in Space Mountain because I was coming out from underneath the, I was too little and skinny. And I was coming out from underneath in the, underneath the buckle. I was just getting sucked right out and he had to grab my pants and hold me down or I would have been gone. Gone somewhere in outer space of Space Mountain somewhere. Dead, I'm sure.
Was meant to be a joyful getaway. Their young sons, Nicholas and 4-year-old Brandon, were thrilled, especially Brandon, who wore his favorite Mickey Mouse ears with...
I am, Bandit, I am not very tall. I'm like 5'3". I might be 5'4" on a good day, but I'm generally 5'3".
With pride. It was a day filled with laughter, parades, and
I thought it was 5'5" because my driver's license said 5'5", but you know, hey.
Childhood wonder. But as night fell and they boarded their final
Lying
ride,
to myself, wishful
changed.
thinking.
They chose
Okay,
Roger
what about
Rabbit's
that?
Cartoon Spin, a playful cartoon-themed ride with twisting tracks. Brandon rode up front with his
damn,
mother,
you're
while
tall,
the rest of the family
6'4".
followed in the car behind. As the taxi spun through dark tunnels, Brandon suddenly fell from the vehicle. Chaos erupted. His father leapt from the moving ride.
Yes, I look taller because everything on me is large. Which we'll find out if my conservative top is going to ruin my views or not. We'll find out. Stay tuned. I'll let you know.
In desperation, trying to stop it. But the ride continued for several meters, and one of the spinning cars ran over Brandon, trapping his tiny body beneath it. He was unconscious and not breathing. Although paramedics revived his heart, Brandon had suffered severe brain damage and internal injuries. Witnesses later claimed that staff ignored desperate pleas for help and delayed stopping the ride. Brandon spent weeks in a coma. When he finally opened his eyes, the joy was short-lived. He would never speak, walk, or live independently again. For 8 long years, he endured constant care and medical treatment before passing away in January 2009. Investigations revealed that a faulty safety bar and a lack of protective barriers caused the tragedy. Though the Zucker family won a lawsuit, the emotional scars remain unhealed. From Disney rides that have tragically claimed lives to shocking accidents on thrill rides worldwide, theme parks aren't always fun and games. While most visits are safe, rare mechanical failures, human errors, or safety oversights can turn deadly. Now let's explore some of the most chilling theme park incidents ever recorded.
Oh, gosh.
Ride of Shame. Guests came for a thrill, but what they saw spinning in the sky looked like a symbol from history.
That's not Disney. This was supposed to be about Disney. Is this Disney? That does not look like Disney.
Darkest hour. In the summer of 2019, Tasmania theme park in Luffingen, Germany, proudly unveiled its newest attraction, Adlerflug, or Eagle's Flight. The ride featured 2 spinning.
Is anybody noticing something about the shape of that ride? Does anybody notice the shape on that ride? Sneaky, sneaky. We've got a little swastika going on right there.
Arms designed to resemble
how charming of them.
majestic birds soaring through the sky. Riders were meant to experience the thrill of flight graceful, exciting, and family-friendly. But when the ride started spinning, onlookers noticed something deeply disturbing. From a distance and certain angles, the 2 rotating arms didn't look like soaring eagles at all. Instead, they closely resembled a giant rotating swastika, one of the most infamous advanced symbols in Germany due to its association with the Nazi regime. The resemblance wasn't subtle. Photos of the ride quickly went viral online, sparking outrage and disbelief. Visitors were horrified. Many questioned how such a glaring visual oversight could have made it through the design and approval process.
Humor. That's kind of funny a little bit. He snuck one past you, did he?
Tasmania's owner, Rudiger Brown, issued a swift and sincere apology, admitting the resemblance was completely unintentional. But apologies weren't enough. The ride was immediately shut down, and 2 arms were removed from each rotating head to eliminate the offensive shape. Once altered, the ride appeared more like harmless pinwheels than a spinning hate symbol. While the park acted quickly, the damage to its reputation was done. The incident remains a cautionary tale about design, oversight, and the importance of understanding historical context, especially in a country where certain symbols are more than just controversial, they're illegal. The ride that was never checked. For 15 years, this thrill ride raced at breakneck speeds until a single overlooked part turned fun into fatal disaster. Expoland, once a bustling theme park in Japan, was home to Fujin Raijin 2, a daring steel roller coaster where riders stood up as they sped along the tracks. Since its debut in 1992, the ride thrilled guests with sharp turns, steep drops, and speeds topping 70 miles per hour across a half-mile of track.
Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
It was a fan favorite, running smoothly for over a decade. But on a May afternoon in 2007, everything changed. Just before hitting a curve, the second car's wheel axle suddenly snapped. The car tilted violently, yet the ride kept moving, dragging the passengers nearly 1,000 feet before smashing into a steel guardrail. The impact was brutal. A 28-year-old woman was killed instantly, and 19 others were seriously injured. When investigators looked into the cause, the findings were shocking. In 15 years of operation, the coaster's wheel axles had never been replaced. Worse yet, they weren't even part of the park's regular inspection routine. This wasn't just an accident, it was a clear case of deadly neglect. The fallout was swift. Fujin Raijin 2 was immediately dismantled. Though Expoland made efforts to restore public trust and briefly reopened in 2015, the damage was irreversible. Visitors never returned in the same numbers.
Everybody's like, hell no, except for the young kids who don't know any better.
And by 2017, the park was permanently closed. Raijin 2 stands as a chilling reminder that when maintenance is ignored, even the most thrilling ride can become a death trap.
Well, yeah,
Launched to death.
When you're on
what
there.
began as a wild medieval stunt turned real-life deadly when a human catapult hurled thrill-seekers like battlefield ammo. In the 1990s, the Dangerous Sports Club in Somerset, England, took medieval mayhem to an insane level by building a full-scale human trebuchet. Unlike its ancient counterpart, which launched boulders at castles, this version hurled people through the air. For just 40 pounds, around $140 today, adrenaline junkies could climb into a sling, get launched, and pray they landed on a net 100 feet away.
No.
As wild as it sounds, it actually drew crowds. One rider, Stella Young, hit the net but bounced out, shattering her neck and pelvis. Instead of shutting it down, organizers simply enlarged the net and told participants to tuck into a ball midair to reduce the chance.
It's all your fault if you don't make it into the net, people. if you don't duck and put your head between your legs, you're not going to make it in the net. It's not their fault. It's your fault. I bet you they make you sign a waiver. This is crazy. Anybody who does this shit, you'd be better off jumping out of a plane, honestly.
Chance of injury, but the danger was far from over. In 2002, 20-year-old university student Kostadin Yankov took his turn on the ride, but something went terribly wrong.
We launch. Yeah, kiss your ass.
He was launched
goodbye.
just like the others, but missed the net entirely.
See?
The impact was fatal.
It's his
the
fault.
tragedy rocked the community and made
It's not
headlines
their
across
fault.
the UK.
Oh
Only
my
after Yankov's
God.
death was the ride finally shut down for good. The trebuchet had claimed its last victim. The idea of turning a medieval war machine into an
What?
amusement ride sounds absurd, but for years, it operated legally. The human trebuchet stands today as a chilling reminder that not all thrills are worth the risk, and some ancient inventions were never meant to be resurrected. The slide that should never have existed.
Oh my God.
It was the tallest water slide on Earth, but one horrifying ride proved it was also the most dangerously designed.
I bet you could
Verrückt,
fall right
German
off the
for crazy,
side.
was the perfect name for this jaw-dropping water slide in Kansas City's Schlitterbahn Water Park. At 168 feet tall, higher than the Statue of Liberty, it promised pure adrenaline. Riders raced down at terrifying speeds before launching over a second hill and splashing into a pool below. It looked like the ultimate thrill ride, but its design was a disaster waiting to happen. During early tests, rafts that weighed over 1,000 pounds flew off the track. Instead of re-engineering the slide, creators added metal netting to catch airborne riders.
Oh,
Yes, netting.
so then you could just smash your dome to bits and get a concussion or brain damage that way. Thanks, guys. That was a great solution. He said, I know that one. I lived it. Have you been on it? Is it still operating today? Were there any more injuries or deaths? He said the owner's son was a victim. Oh, is he like okay kind of a victim? Excuse me, my stomach is empty. Is it an okay victim, or did he get like really smashed up and hurt? Let's see.
Despite the obvious danger, the park, which had donated large sums to the state, was allowed to conduct its own safety inspections. They estimated each raft needed to weigh between 400 and 550 pounds. That was it. No further safeguards, no professional certification. In 2014, Verrückt opened to the public. Then came tragedy. In 2016, 10-year-old Caleb Schwab rode Verrückt. His raft, which met the park's weight guidelines, hit the second hill, went airborne, and slammed into the netting. Caleb was decapitated. 2 women riding with him were also severely injured. Later investigations revealed the horrifying truth. Caleb, who weighed just 73 pounds, had been seated in front. The weight imbalance likely caused the fatal launch, something any real safety test would have caught. Schlitterbahn's shortcuts, negligence, and blind ambition turned what should have been summer fun into a family's worst nightmare. The ride was demolished, but the pain and outrage still linger.
Horrible.
A drop that took a life. California's tallest water ride, but one horrifying plunge exposed.
You know, I remember when I was a kid, they had an accident at Knott's Berry Farm, and the tall, I think it's called like Riptide or something. I can't really remember the name of it, but it's kind of like, oh shit, I think they're showing it. It says Knott's right on there.
Fatal flaws that
Let's
should
see.
have never made it past
This
the
is
gate.
it.
Knott's Berry Farm, often hailed as
I didn't
California's
watch this
premier
video.
theme park,
I
carries
watched,
a
like,
darker
the first 3
legacy few
minutes of it.
visitors realize. Since the 1980s, it's seen at least 16 serious ride-related accidents, but one of the most haunting occurred on its record-breaking water ride, the Perilous Plunge. Debuting in 2000, the ride featured a stomach-churning 115-foot drop, with only a lap bar and seatbelt to secure riders. For most, that setup worked until it didn't. In 2001, a 300-pound woman boarded the ride. The seatbelt couldn't fit across her waist, so she fastened it across her legs. No staff intervened. Moments later, as the boat careened down the steep plunge, she was violently thrown from her seat and fell more than 100 feet into shallow water below. She died instantly. When the boat returned to the station, investigators were shocked to find the restraint still locked.
The restraint was still locked?
But the tragic truth became clear.
She probably didn't put it on because it probably didn't fit. I'm thinking she didn't put it on. Let's see if they say it.
Ride's design nor its staff were equipped to handle riders of all body types safely. She never should have been allowed on the ride in the first place. After a lawsuit and public backlash, Knott's Berry Farm shut down the ride temporarily and added new...
Hey, they say when pigs fly. There you go. Okay?
4-point restraints meant to fit all guests, but by then, it was too late. Though Perilous Plunge remained open for years afterward, the tragedy cast a long shadow. The incident stands as a chilling reminder that even the biggest thrills must be backed by the most basic safety. America's most dangerous park. Imagine a theme park so reckless, it needed a fake insurance company to stay open. Welcome to New Jersey.
A fake insurance agency to stay open?
Action Park. In the 1970s and 1980s, New Jersey's Action Park earned a nickname that said it all: Class Action Park. It wasn't just a clever jab, it was a warning. Opened in 1978, this chaotic amusement park quickly gained a reputation as the most dangerous in the world. Safety regulations barely existed. Many of the rides looked like they were designed by daredevils, not engineers. The Cannonball Loop was a notorious example of an enclosed pitch-black water slide ending in a vertical loop. Riders were often knocked unconscious, lost teeth, or got stuck halfway through. Staff had to install a trapdoor just to rescue people. Then came the Colorado River Ride, which hurled rafts into concrete walls, and Surf Hill, where people were randomly launched into the air due to poor design.
So basically less regulation then, obviously, and people are having more fun, but they're losing their teeth like chiclets everywhere on the floor.
Bones, concussions, and near drownings were regular events. No insurance company wanted anything to do with Action Park. So the owner, Eugene Mulvihill, simply created a fake insurance company based in the Cayman Islands and illegally insured the park himself. That's not just shady, it's fraud. Despite the madness, rides stayed open even after multiple serious injuries. Official records reported just 14 broken bones and 26 head injuries, but park employees and medics knew the real numbers were much higher. Before Action Park finally shut down in 1996, 6 people had lost their lives. Action Park wasn't just thrilling, it was terrifying, and its legacy still serves as a chilling reminder of what happens when profit comes before safety.
Yeah, whatever. It's also older time frame, so there's less regulation. Homemade redneck roller coasters. Yes. Why not?
Smiles turned to screams.
Oh.
A ride called the Smiler promised fun and thrills until a devastating crash turned excitement into one of Britain's worst theme park disasters. Alton Towers in England once proudly unveiled the Smiler, a record-breaking roller coaster boasting 14 inversions, the most in the world. It was designed to wow thrill seekers, flipping them upside down again and again. But in 2015, the ride took a horrifying turn that no one could have predicted. During a routine day at the park, an empty test car had become stuck on the track due to high winds. A fault was logged, but somehow the danger went unnoticed or ignored. Operators, trying to clear the queue, manually overrode the system and launched a fully loaded passenger car. Moments later, disaster struck. The moving car crashed into the stalled test car at nearly 90 miles per hour. 16 people were injured, but the front row bore the brunt of the impact. 2 young women, barely adults, each lost a leg in the crash. Emergency crews worked for hours to free the trapped victims from the wreckage. An investigation revealed multiple warnings and errors that were tragically overlooked. The ride's safety systems had worked, but humans overrode them. Public outrage followed. Merlin Group, the company behind Alton Towers, suspended similar rides and paid millions in compensation. Yet just 9 months later, the Smiler reopened. To some, it was a step forward. To others, it felt far too soon. The name Smiler now feels ironic, if not haunting. Maybe it should have been called the Crasher or the Death Trap. The rocket's fatal flaw.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine that shit? And then you lose half of your leg on top. I would be forever pissed off about everything in life after that. Seriously, it's like worse than getting attacked by a shark, Way worse, because at least it's a shark, right? He doesn't know any better. These people are building this shit and people are losing their life and body parts and baseball bat.
What started as a thrilling ride to simulate space ended in real-life terror when a cable suddenly snapped midair. Divo Ostrov Amusement Park in St. Petersburg, Russia, is known for its extreme rides, but none are more intense than the rocket. This high-flying beast lifts 10 riders into a gondola, hoists them 200 feet into the sky, and spins them with such force it feels like zero gravity. It's basically space training without leaving Earth.
For all of you viewers and thotties out there, I don't like extreme heights. So when I see this stuff, I'm like going, oh shit, no thank you.
From the ground, it looks wild, but in 2010, things got truly terrifying. During one ride, as the gondola soared above the park, one of the massive support cables suddenly snapped. The gondola, still suspended by the remaining cable, swung wildly in the air with 10 terrified people inside. For over an hour, emergency crews worked to rescue the trapped riders, who dangled helplessly above the park's crowds. Incredibly,
praying, they became the most religious people quickly at that time ever.
No one was injured, but the close call shook everyone. An investigation later revealed that the summer heat had likely weakened the metal cable, leading to the sudden failure. Considering the ride operates outdoors, you'd expect it to be built for all kinds of weather. Apparently, not quite. The ride was briefly shut down, inspected, and repaired, but to many people's shock, it reopened later that same year. No public explanation.
They probably got baptized up there and speaking in tongues. And I'm a PK's kid, so I can talk about that. Yes, I made a joke. It's okay. It's okay.
Major redesign. It's hard to believe something so risky was brushed off so quickly. Maybe it should have been called the roulette, because riding it feels like a spin of fate.
No, thank you.
The catapult of terror. A close call at Mount Olympus. Picture this. You're strapped into a catapult ride, hurtling toward the sky at 60 miles per hour, ready for the ultimate thrill. But what if disaster strikes at the very moment you launch? In 2015, at Mount Olympus in Wisconsin, this nightmare almost became a reality. Drew Larson was recording his 13-year-old son as he prepared to ride the park's famous human catapult. This ride, designed to shoot riders 200 feet into the air at breathtaking speeds, seemed like the ultimate thrill for any adrenaline junkie. But just as the ride was about to begin, one of the heavy-duty cables snapped, violently slamming into the platform just inches away from the boy.
I've seen those in Vegas, all over the place.
The cables, built to withstand 40 tons of pressure, were meant to ensure a smooth and safe ride. But in this instance, the frayed cables almost cost them everything. If the boy had been even slightly out of position, he could have been severely injured or worse. Even more chilling is the fact that the ride had passed its inspection only a month earlier, raising questions about the park's maintenance practices.
Well, last month, good to go.
The ride was promptly shut down, and its removal from the park came as a relief to many. The incident left behind a terrifying reminder that no matter how thrilling an attraction may be, safety should always come first. While Disney parks are usually safe and well-maintained, these tragic incidents are a reminder that even fantasy worlds have real risks. Millions visit these parks without harm, but the rare cases of death reveal that no place is completely immune to danger. We hope this video gave you insight into the...
Well, what did you all think about that? Do you want to go ride a bunch of rides now? Because I don't. I think I'll stay home and playing coloring books with my kid or something. Speaking of which, I have to go do domestic duties now. Thank you all very, very much. Thank you all for joining me tonight. I hope you enjoyed the political segment. Hope you enjoyed Grid One. Don't forget of his new channel that's opening up. I hope you enjoyed the more on the occult stuff. If you have any ideas or you want to see more of something, leave a comment after the stream. Let me know. Give me some feedback. I appreciate you all. So, School of Thought on a Tuesday is telling, it's Tuesday, right? School of Thought on a Tuesday is telling you all to be good boys and girls. Don't be on your phones while driving on the freeway to your jobs, okay? And have a good rest of your week during the grind, and may you all enjoy your weekend coming up. I will be streaming again on probably Friday, more than likely, setting up tomorrow. So thank you for joining me. I love you all, and I will see you again soon. Goodbye, and good night.